Tonight, a champion will be crowned. 4 of the best Madden players in the world will battle it out for the 20th. Tonight, a champion will be Tonight, a champion will be Tonight, a champion will be crowned. 4 of the best Madden players in the world will battle it out for the $20,000 first place prize. First, a fierce young competitor who is looking to prove the world wrong takes on a superstar in the industry. Next, the Madden 24 Madden Bowl rematch is here. 2 longtime rivals.
Well, I guess we're live, baby. Welcome back to the finals for the $20,000 Red Hot Gaming Championship. I'm going to be your host today, Mayz. I am joined in the booth with the 7-time Madden champion and Madden Love Mayz online dating show champion, Henry Leverett. Henry, how you doing today?
Doing good. Ready to get to these games, man.
Yes, absolutely. And we are coming at you from the University of Oklahoma Esports Program. I want to give a big thank you to them for hosting us and all their staff that are helping us put on the production today. I also want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's stream, Ugly John's Custom Boats, the best custom boats you can get. 818 Madden, where you can learn to play just like the pros you're going to watch here today and maybe even compete in next year's tournament. And, of course, EA Sports for creating the game that we love and play. Yes, and I'm sure all the competitors who are going to be making some money today want to give a big shout out to EA as well. And, of course, the big thank you goes out to Red Hot Gaming, who is putting on all the logistics and organization for this event. There has been 16 qualifying events leading up to this live event. And if you missed yesterday's day one, it was the quarterfinals. We had 8 competitors who, again, have competed over the last 6 months to earn their spot here. From there, we have narrowed it down to the top 4. One of them being Henry Leverett right here. So, Henry, yesterday you played in the quarterfinals against that Goose guy, someone who many people here say is the best guy on the sticks right now. Obviously, many people consider you the best guy on the sticks of all time. But after yesterday, you said it was one of your toughest games you've played, and you barely squeaked out a win. Tell us about how that game went.
Yeah, usually when I go into a game versus somebody, I usually try to cook up a good game plan. You know, I feel like I have the talent and, like, all of that, but I feel like you still need a good game plan. And I feel like I had a pretty solid one for him. Apparently his was a little bit stronger than mine because he knew exactly what I was doing, and he's completely prepared for it. So, you know, it shocked me because I thought I would get a lot more stops than I did. And I really felt like he was moving the ball at will, but I just got timely stops when I needed them, and it worked out for me.
Right. I remember at the very end of the game there was a crucial fumble you ended up getting, just a giant hit stick, and that really turned the tides of the game. But as they say, you know, winners win, and in the end you got it done. Now we look ahead to your next opponent. It is going to be a matchup with Wesley, a longtime rival of yours, someone you actually lived with last year, somebody you played in the finals of the Madden Bowl last year. Tell me about that history that you guys have.
Yeah, me and Wes, we play a lot. I don't know how, but we always seem to find a way to match up. It's kind of like that little, like, Kevin Decroft thing where they constantly match up. So, you know, luckily I usually win. So hopefully that streak of me winning keeps going on today.
Yes, sir. And before that, we have the other side of the bracket. Abram against Showtime. Both of them had dominant victories yesterday in the quarterfinals, and they're going to be going head-to-head. The winner is going to play the winner of Henry and Wesley. Henry, you actually got to talk to these guys earlier today in an interview and get their thoughts on their matchup. Let's take a look at that interview now.
Day 2. Pre-game, got Showtime here. You just beat Kobo yesterday. Played a great game. I mean, you dominated. You forced them into mistakes, and you capitalized off of it, which isn't something really you do. What's so different about today where you locked in? I saw you, like, handling the clock differently. Like, what is all of that from?
Yeah, I'm just, like, getting better at controlling the clock, and when I go up a stop, just keep control of the game and keep scoring.
Yes, sir. Keep going. I like it. So now today you have Abram. Abram was one of the best players this year. What's your mindset going into that game? Like, you think you're gonna flood him? Like, how do you feel about that game?
Play the same game as always and get a few switch sticks and flood.
Get a few switch sticks and flood. So you're saying you're gonna win that game?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So you win that game. You either play Wes or some handsome, tall chocolate man. How do you think, like, who do you want to play in the finals if you were to get past Abram?
I want to play you.
Okay. I guess we'll wait for Henry's interviews for him to respond to that. But, you know, good luck today, man. Go ahead and get to it. pregame, day 2. We got Abram with us, one of the best players this year in Madden 25.
Oh, I guess we're not going to see Abram talk, but that's okay because we're going to see him play here shortly. So Abram is a belt winner, somebody who's a little bit more seasoned in the MCS. Showtime, still a senior in high school. He's a young buck on the scene, but that doesn't scare him, as you saw in the interview. You talked to him. A very confident man. He said he's going to come out here and flood Abram. What do you think about his comments on that?
It's crazy, actually in the Abram interview, I wish you got to see it, but Abram was talking crazy. Abram, like, you thought Showtime was saying something. Abram was sitting there saying a lot more. He was saying that he's guaranteed to win. This is a big matchup problem for Showtime. Showtime has never beaten him. He said, you know what he told me to my face?
What did he tell you?
He said that he's grateful that it was Showtime. He told me that he's thankful that it's Showtime, that he's just guaranteed in the finals. So, very excited to see this one.
I actually had a brief conversation with Abram as well, and he said that, yeah, he felt like, even though they haven't played, he felt like Showtime was one of the best matchups he could have. So a similar communication. But I do think that all of these players that made it this far, you included, Wesley included, you have to have that level of confidence if you want to succeed in this game. You got to expect that you're going to win, because if you don't believe in yourself, then it's just not going to translate on the field. And so going into this game, obviously, like I said, young buck against the seasoned veteran, both of them extremely confident. Who do you think is going to take this one?
I'd have to go Abram, man. I know how Showtime plays defense. He runs this blitz heavy. And, I mean, we seen Abram yesterday going against the blitz. He makes a lot of quick reads. A lot of his reads, he's not sitting in the pocket long. He's kind of like Brady, He's not going to get hit a lot because he's going to get the ball out extremely quick. So, going there, I feel like it combats Showtime pretty well. And Showtime is like a wild card on offense. He does a lot of crazy things. It's hard to live like that. So, my pick personally is Abram.
And I wanted to come in here where we had a different opinion, where I was almost hoping you would take Showtime and I was going to take Abram, because I walked in here a little bit earlier. We were setting up some production stuff, and there was one dude off in the corner by himself in practice mode, just running his blitz over and over and over, making sure he had it down to a T, and that was Abram. And after we saw him play yesterday, obviously both of the players impressed us, but just seeing the amount of dedication that he's showing, his mentality on the game, I got to go with Abram too. So I personally think I don't think it's going to be a flood, though. I think it's going to be a close game. Both of these competitors are capable of beating anyone in the world. And so I think in a very close game, I got to go with Abram as well.
I'm praying for a close game.
Yeah. And so with that said, I think the competitors are ready to go. And if they are, we can head over and get this one underway.
Game time. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Hi, everyone. All right, there we go. Abram in the top right, Showtime in the top left, both of them looking locked in. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday. There is the face of eternal joy on Abram's face. I've never seen someone so happy when they're playing Madden, but Abram seems to always be giggling. Even when things don't go his way, he seems to not take it too seriously, but deep down he still really cares about winning this game. And you see the MCS field right there. Both of these guys MCS competitors. Both of them had a lot of success in the competitive circuit this year. And we're getting it underway. The kick is up. And it's going to be William the Fridge Perry returning this kick.
Oh, my gosh.
Nice spin move to the outside. All right, and it looks like I think Abram's going to be starting on defense. We know Abram runs the dime 3-2 defense typically. I think Showtime's been running mostly 6-1. And this is the blitz I saw Abram setting up in practice mode and running about 50 times in a row. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some pressure coming in from Abram right now. You see he's zoning out the D tackle as well, and we're starting with a run. William the Fridge Perry, thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
Okay, first thing I see, secure tackler. Perry was going crazy yesterday. It looks like Abram put on some secure tacklers to get him down instantly. You don't want to see a run working, though, because Showtime, with how good he is as a passer, if you're giving him a run as an option, too, it just makes defense all the more harder.
And that is one of the weaknesses in this dime 1-4 defense is if you're running dime and you got all these DBs on the field, you got to worry about the run game. It looks like Showtime knows that because we didn't even see him run the ball that much yesterday. But it looks like coming out, that is definitely the game plan, is he's going to run until the wheels fall off, or in this case, until William the Fridge Perry's ankles snap.
Has the will. That's a good read. That's a great possession
And
catch,
Loveland with a diving catch down inside the red zone now, all the
Showtime
way to the
staying in
5.
I love this hurry up right here. It seems like Abram isn't going to go into that left mug with the right linebacker.
And there's the snap, 3-man
Showtime
pass
has the
rush.
drag. That's a great read. I mean, that's just a beautiful first drive.
In a
That was
matter
a fast first drive,
in
too.
a matter of seconds, we already have a touchdown. And it's going to be a 7-0 game. Showtime with a quick score. Not looking like he struggled too much on that drive. 2 big runs, a big pass, and then finishing it up in the red zone. Pretty flawless to start the game.
Yeah, I mean, that was a perfect first drive. That's exactly what you want to see in the first drive, too, if you're playing. Because I can guarantee you right now, Showtime feels like he has no chance of getting stopped. Because that's how I would feel. I'm not going to lie. When I see the runnings working, the blitz isn't coming in, the reads are there, I'm feeling groovy. Now it's about going out there and trying to get one myself.
And one thing we noticed yesterday in a lot of the matchups is that it was a tale of the blitzes. The players that could get pressure and the players that could pick up pressure are the ones that had success. And so if Showtime's able to neutralize Abrams' blitz just by running away from it, it's going to really affect how he has to play defense, because you notice a lot of these blitzes rely on the user being down at the line of scrimmage in a very specific spot. The user also is incredibly important for stopping the run. And so you can't really do both. And so it's going to be a matter of if Showtime sticks to that run and really makes him pay for using that user. And we're seeing a little interesting play call there. Only a 3-man pass rush right there for Showtime. Typically out of the 6-1, we see a lot of blitzing. But on play 1, he elects to play coverage. And we're going to see if that's going to be a trend here for him or if he goes back to the typical blitzing style.
Yeah, Abram went for a bomb right there. He was trying to hit that streak over the middle, but Showtime guarded it well. Abram's quick hiking now. See, something different from yesterday. Yesterday, Abram was coming out in that normal or doubles wide off close. Today, he's just coming out in this tight wide off.
And I'm curious.
Oh, look. Whoa, he changed playbooks.
I'm curious how much of this is due to the matchup, knowing that he's going to be playing Showtime. And there's the looping A-gap from the D tackle. That's going to be a sack from Nolan Smith Jr.
Yeah, Abram switched playbooks. I haven't seen this, so it looks like he doesn't like doubles versus 6-1.
And Bo Nix throws the backside return route. It's Devontae Smith with a catch, but not getting much. First, 3rd and long of the game. Again, we didn't even see, I don't think, a second down for Showtime. And Abram in a big 3rd down doesn't convert here. He's going to be stuck with a tough decision. Pressure's
blitz.
picked up. A nice throw, a diving play from the user just out of reach. And Abram gets the first down. A big play right there. Could have gone the other way if Showtime was a little bit quicker.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. Showtime, his defense, a lot of his blitzing, we're seeing him play more coverage, so I like him adjusting. But you saw when he blitzed, Abram had the quick reads, and that's what we saw Abram was so good at yesterday. His reads versus the blitz are so quick and so exceptional.
And here comes this cheat motion. Looks like it's going to be an RPO to the sideline. A lot of space for Burden.
Oh.
Cuts back inside. I think he could have got a few more yards there.
Point shaving.
Yeah, I'm curious what the idea, if he thought maybe Showtime would have tried to click on and maybe dive, or if it was just a misclick of his thumb.
Yeah, he definitely tried to predict that Showtime was going to overrun it and like cut in and try to get a touchdown.
Yeah, a little bit
Just
too
didn't work
early, a
out.
little overzealous, but still in the red zone nonetheless. 16 yards to go, and a clean read over the middle, wide open again is Devontae Smith, and now he's at the 2-yard line.
Something I'm noticing from Showtime, he's getting quick hike, man. Like, I'm seeing, like, he's shifting people late. He's not getting in his assignments right at the right time. It's just, like, he's getting quick hike.
And now I-form wing, a very run-heavy look, and in the
Chris
end
Johnson,
zone.
Touchdown. I mean, beautiful drive from Abram. Same thing. Abram just looks perfect.
And we're going to have a tie game now. We're hearing the a beautiful, ethereal sound as he scores a touchdown there. That's just Abram's aura. We can hear it from here. 7-7 ball game now. 1:32 still left in the first. Both guys with amazing opening drives. I feel like Showtime looked a little bit more high-powered than Abram. However, cool, calm, and collected in the 3rd and long. I feel like Abram really came up big there.
Yeah, that's one thing about Abram. Rookie, but he's a vet, you know. He plays just like a vet. Everything he does is established.
And now we're going to see if there's any adjustments there. Like we said on the opening drive, Abram just got absolutely gashed. And, yeah, it looks like a little bit of a different defensive setup. Now he's blitzing off the right side, the right A-gap, rather than left, because that run is continually going to the right. And that's a good thing about some of these symmetrical formations is you can blitz off each side if you have both slot corners. It actually looks like he might be flipping his play here, but trying to send it off both sides. And there it is, a quick read, and there's the zone KO to knock it loose. No good, and Showtime with the first 3rd down of the game.
Yeah, I mean, perfect defense from Abram. I'm just shocked that Showtime didn't run the ball right there. If I was Showtime, if I ever seen this, like, I'm running. I've seen all how good it is. I'm not going to sit there and try to play around. I'm going to make sure that I run every single time.
And it looks like we're going to be getting a heavier blitz this time off the left. A timeout called. And going to be interesting to see here on 3rd and 4. The run game is on the table. I do assume that 4th and short, Showtime's going to go for it as well. So you think with the success he's had in the run game, 2 runs in a row might be on the table here. Again, we're seeing a kind of quiet in here. I don't want to be giving away too much, but a cover 2 shell. And Bo Nix steps up in the pocket.
Oh,
it's incomplete.
KO.
Another zone KO. The safety not only covered the streak, was able to drive on the post and make that play as well. Huge 4th down right now.
Once again, back-to-back plays. I mean, Showtime started this with a great run and just never went back to it on either 2nd or 3rd down, and he had the perfect look.
And that's what we were talking about. Is it's a matter of if Showtime is going to make him pay for running this type of defense. Obviously, I know everybody here likes to pass, but sometimes in these games you got to be patient and you got to be taking what's working. 4th down here. It's going to be a pass. Bo Nix has a lot of time in the pocket, finds the open receiver, Loveland, and a great possession catch. We saw zone KOs knock out the ball in the last 2 plays, not getting a chance on that one, and it's a 1st down for Showtime.
Abram's just going to mug this right gap now.
1st and 10, a quick throw to the running back. William the Fridge Perry, another 1st down. And again, that's something that we're noticing here is Abram is flipping which side the blitz is coming off of. Again, that's going to affect how the run defense plays as well. And so it's possible that Showtime, seeing that he's mugging the other side, maybe doesn't want to run against it. Nice throw to the wheel route. It's Wilson, the 6'7" wide receiver.
I mean, this is just a great drive from Showtime. I mean, he's playing well. He's making all the right reads. You know, maybe a few bad play calls, but he's playing perfect. I mean, nothing is wrong.
Yeah, as you said, maybe could have gone to the run game more, but his pass is also working. And, I guess results speak for themselves. He's got the 1st down at the 22 now as we head into the 2nd quarter.
I wonder if Abram's going to stay in, like, this same defensive look the entire game because I don't think it's looking that well.
Yeah, so far hasn't been working very much.
There goes the run.
And that spin back inside has proven to be a problem. It covers a lot of ground. It's almost like a 10-yard spin back inside. The CPU doesn't even react to it, so your user's going to have to be prepared for that. Now 2nd and 7 from the 19. A lot of time in the pocket. Bo Nix throws the streak.
Great read. Abram came down with the switch stick. He clicked onto his free safety, brought it down for half a second, and Showtime instantly made him pay. Just perfect reads.
And that's the difference between some of these players and, some of the average players online, where if you see an open receiver, in this game, you can't automatically throw it because your opponent very well may switch stick and get under it before the ball gets there. These guys are ready for that, the patience to wait for the switch stick and then make them pay over the top when they come down too aggressively.
Yeah, 100%. I know people are probably wondering. I know we have the front page of Twitch and everything. People are probably wondering, why do you see William Perry at halfback? There's things in the game where they like to put defensive players on offense and offensive players on defense. This is MUT. This isn't your regular game mode. So there's a lot of wacky things. But it's fun to play. It's real fun to play.
And some of those players that, weigh over 300 pounds become incredibly hard to tackle in the open field, especially when you pair on certain abilities like tank and other things that make it difficult to tackle them one-on-one. So I'm sure this isn't the only time we're going to see a big-body defensive player in the backfield punishing the defense. The snap is up. We got pressure. And
Showtime looking at him talking too.
Ray Nitschke underneath, and it's going the other way. Not just a turnover, but a complete flip of the script. Now 20-7 as Showtime gets the first defensive play of the game.
Showtime's looking good. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if anybody else saw it. I saw Showtime look over and talk to him a little bit as he got the interception.
I know that a lot of these players have a certain amount of swagger when they're playing. That, like I said earlier, that confidence you need in order to succeed in that game, and Showtime definitely has it there. Not afraid to chirp a little bit at Abram. Now, Abram, despite all that, still has a little smirk on his face, and I think almost no matter what happens, that's probably not going to go away. But Showtime looking really hot right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Abram, this is scary. One, because you're both looking good on offense, but you were the one that just got stopped and it also went for 7. Now you're down a possession or 2 possessions, and Showtime still looks great on offense.
A little bit of an offsides there, and it looks like a free play, and it's going to be a positive gain there. Declining the penalty. A little Aaron Rodgers-esque. I'm sure you are very well aware that anytime you get a free play, you see your opponent offsides, you got to take a shot downfield and try to maximize that mistake from your opponent.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'll try to never take anything short. I'll take something short if I, like, guarantee need the yards just to get a little bit closer if I'm on a longer down. But other than that,
and there goes Bo
my
Nix.
gosh.
Almost takes a hit. You got to be careful running with your quarterback. Again, I know there's a lot of people in here who maybe aren't used to watching competitive Madden, but quarterbacks are very prone to fumbling. Sometimes you even breathe on a quarterback, and they just cough up the football. So Bo Nix holding on to it there. A good play for Abram, and now it's a 2nd and short from the 50-yard line. Pressure comes up the A-gap, and it's going to be a 3rd down.
I'm not going to lie. Abram doesn't like this. This defense that Showtime running, getting in that gap, engaging with that center to get some pressure.
And there's another quick seam, Evan Ingram. And pretty much every defense we're seeing, it's the same philosophy on defense. You got to bring your user down, cause some chaos on the O-line, and try to get one of your D linemen in free. The problem is those quick tight end seams become very tough to guard. And if the timing is correct, it's gonna be tough to cover, and we're seeing another offsides there from Showtime.
Yeah, that's one of the things about this defense. You know, it's great. It gives you a lot of pressure, but you are prone to running offsides because you're getting so close to the offensive line.
And we're going to see a nice little motion from Igbuka down the seam as well.
Get screened
There
at.
comes Bo Nix out of the pocket again, somehow escaping that pressure. This looper from the D tackle, again, we're seeing typically people know how to block this and have success. I'm not sure if maybe Showtime's doing something different, but it seems like that D tackle Nolan Smith is coming in almost every time. Another almost interception in the same spot of the field.
I can tell you right now, what Abram needs to do, I would say he needs to start quick hiking every single play. That's when offense goes the best for him. When he's giving Showtime time to shut up like this and stuff, things just haven't been going too well. Oh, my gosh. Right there, another knockout. Perfect switch stick from Showtime.
The user seems to know exactly where he wants to go with the ball. Showtime is essentially reading his mind, and whether he's throwing to the left or right, it seems like he's filling the gap with his user perfectly every time. Big 4th down right here.
Abram goes for a quick hike. Yep, and see, every time he quick hikes, offense is perfect. When he sits there and waits and gives Showtime set up, things get a little shaky.
So it's going to be a game of speed here for Abram. The problem is when you have some of these motion plays that are built in, there's automatically going to be a slower snap just due to that motion. And he takes off up the middle, perfect slide right before the hit. 2nd and 5 now, and there's the 2-minute warning. Abram is going to be receiving the ball in the second half. So one thing to think about is, obviously, I think at this point it's a little bit too late to clock, but he's going to be giving Showtime an opportunity to end the half with the ball and potentially retake his 2-possession lead, even if he gets 7 here. So maybe a little mismanagement of the clock, but obviously when your opponent's playing this good a defense, you got to take points when you can get it, and you can't always think in those terms.
Yeah, Abram has been in a few treacherous spots, so if I'm him, I would just try to score. I wouldn't even worry about it. Like, yeah, if you go down 14 because you scored and he ended up scoring as well, then it is what it is.
2nd and 5, a late throw to the zig. He does catch it, though. No KO on the play. And 3rd and 2 from the 10. We already saw him go for it once on 4th, so you got to assume this is 4-down territory. And if so, a run is definitely on the table here on 3rd down because if you don't get it, you still have another opportunity.
Yeah.
From the 10. This is where it becomes incredibly difficult to pass. A little bit of a shorter field. Looks like he's got the backside post. A great throw, and Burden with the score to cut that lead down to 7.
Looks like Showtime ran commit right there. Not really sure why, just because he's in everybody's in the box. It's really good run defense. So I'm not sure why he ran commit. But, yeah, he runs commit, Abram passed, and Abram instantly made him pay.
And, sometimes in that situation, if you're Showtime, you play really aggressively. Obviously, you don't want to give up a touchdown there. But the fact that you did give up a touchdown and not just a 1st down, now you can save your timeouts. You got 132. You can play this last drive exactly how you want, and if you get at least 3 points, you're going to be up 2 possessions going into the second half and force Abram to get some type of stop defensively.
Oh, yeah, you're not mad at the scenario at all. I mean, 132, 3 timeouts, and you've been playing perfect offense.
And a nice player in the backfield there. One of the first times we've seen the run game get stuffed there. And there's the runoff right there. Obviously, he's still got all 3 timeouts, so the clock's not a huge factor. But if you're running the ball consistently and not getting big yardage, you might start to run out of time there or start burning your timeouts. 2nd and 10, the pressure comes in. Great defense on the field from Abram. And now a 3rd and long for Showtime. We're seeing this defense finally start to work for Abram, that pressure that he's been relying on. Probably now because there's lower time on the clock, he can expect to pass more. And I don't know if he's pass committing, but the pressure seems to be getting in the backfield a lot more, forcing Bo Nix to get rid of the ball. And again, that pressure making him run up the middle. A great user, and now a 4th down.
Great defense from Abram right there. Showtime just throwing the drag. If he would have kept running, that would have been a 1st down for sure.
And no decision to be had. He's right to the line. Some people watching might be confused. Why would you go for it from your own 20 with 57 seconds left. However, in competitive Madden, you don't want to give your opponent any stops so you don't have to. Getting 10 yards is not nearly as hard as it is in real football, and we're going to see if he can convert here. A great switch stick and another knockout.
Perfect defense from Abram.
Abram, despite the interception, despite the pick six, has battled back here at the end of half and now is in perfect position to have the advantage going into the second half.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's getting ball at half. He's in field goal range right here. You just want to make sure that you secure points. Nothing else matters besides securing points. You don't want to do anything dumb. You can't have a dumb turnover.
Just on the fringe of the red zone. Still got 2 timeouts and plenty of time on the clock. 49 seconds. A nice gain of 4 on the first play and right back to the line in the hurry up. You see right there an 11-second runoff. Now, obviously, at this stage of the field, you're not worried about running out of clock, especially with 2 timeouts, but we're likely going to be seeing a little bit of a more hurry-up attempt from Abram, considering the clock is continuing to drip. 21 seconds to go. Here comes the looper, and there's the sack. 3rd and 10. Phenomenal defense from Showtime.
Showtime not calling a timeout. Smart by Showtime. You don't want to call a timeout right there. He's already in field goal range. You just want to make sure that this isn't 7. You're probably not going to make anything shake on offense, so you let the clock be solely against him. You don't want to give him extra timeouts.
17 seconds to go. Again, some people might be wondering, did he take off a little bit too much clock? And I don't think he did, considering if he doesn't convert here, he might elect to take 3, considering he's receiving the second half kickoff. And if he does so, now there's only 11 seconds left for Showtime. You didn't leave him too much. If you leave him 25, 35 seconds, there's plenty of time for Showtime to go down and get 3 himself.
Yeah, with the kick, it should go to about 8 seconds. Usually takes 3 seconds for a kick. There it is. I mean, 8 seconds, got to go to full field. Pretty much all you got to do is make sure. Just send 5 people.
Yeah, send a lot of pressure.
Send some pressure. Make sure you have everybody backed up, and you should be good.
Yeah, the only fear is sometimes when you blitz too many, the safeties can take terrible pursuit angles, and if they end up missing a tackle, you never know.
But one thing about Showtime, I've seen people before half give him plays where he has a lot of time in the pocket, and he makes them pay. So
Showtime is a gunslinging player. We're going to see if he elects to do it. A lot of times we see players get very conservative at the end of half, and it looks like he is not going to do it. A 40-yard corner route. Hit as he throws. And that's something that's cool about this year in Madden 25. You're able to stem your routes. And so what typically a corner route would break around 10 yards, you can stem all the way down the field in these situations and have it break 40 yards down the field like we just saw right there.
Showtime runs.
A little bit of space on the outside. A great spin, and that's going to take us to halftime, 21-17. And you know what was looking like potentially Showtime was about to have a lot of momentum. We had Abram in a 4th down. He was already down 14. He showed a lot of composure to fight back there, stay composed on his drive, get the touchdown, and then not only that, play lockdown defense right after.
Yeah, I mean that was a great half. You know, I'm happy that this is a great game. You know, we haven't gotten many of those. But what I would say with Abram, quick hiking on offense, that's a staple. Anytime he's quick hiking on offense, he's moved the ball well. He's taking time. Showtime is getting set up. He's getting his switch stick. Everything in his mind is set. You know, he's not scrambled, and you know, Abram's struggling versus it. What Showtime needs to do more on offense, though, I do think he needs to run a little bit more. You know, in that last set of downs where he got stopped, he also didn't take his drag. You know, he's looking for the deep ball. You know, when you're up, what was he, up 7 with the ball? You got to be patient. You got to take everything given to you. You know, you're dominating the game. You don't want to give somebody a chance because right now, Abram's down 4, getting the ball at half. And if he goes 7, he can take the lead in this game. So I want to see Showtime just make sure that he's still playing his game and keeping everything short. Don't rush yourself.
Absolutely. We talked about it, too, at the end of half. Showtime, more of a gunslinging player. And sometimes that isn't always the best when you're playing with a lead. It's great when you're playing from behind. It's great to put up a lot of points. But sometimes when you have a lead, you got to slow it down and play a little slower. Like you said, take your drags. You don't always need to be pushing the ball so far downfield. And it kind of hurt him because Abram's pressure is now starting to get to the quarterback. If you can block the blitz and have all day, then yes, push the ball downfield and try to get aggressive. But if you're not having the time, because what we're seeing is even when the blitz is not coming in clean, what's happening is it's still disrupting the pocket. He's having to move. He's having to run. And that's just making it a lot harder to hit his reads.
Exactly.
All right, I think the players must be ready, and we are good to go back to the game.
Yep,
Let's get back to the action.
Let's see. How does Abram play offense this half? I also want to see Showtime, like, let's instantly get in the gap with our user. We know we're going to be doing that. We know that's our bread and butter. Let's instantly do it. Let's make him think about it every time. See, he's sitting back with his user now, trying to get all his adjustments. Boom, quick hike.
Nice quick snap
no pressure
right there.
No, he's not getting any pressure because he's not mugging that gap.
Exactly, and pretty much every defense in the game right now that gets immediate pressure is going to utilize that user. And so if people are having, you're noticing he's dragging his safeties to prevent the tight end seams. There's a lot of things you got to do to set up pre-snap to protect against the most common routes. And then if you got to do all that, you're not always going to be in position with your user. A nice read over the middle. You see the user, though, even though he's engaging, he's kind of fallen back at the last second, trying to get under that drag. It's a matter of a split second if he gets there or not. And sometimes on the offense, it looks wide open until it's not.
Yeah, we saw that on Showtime first stop. He was in that gap, and then he instantly went and got that running back streak. So, yeah, it's definitely scary to make reads versus it.
And we're noticing a lot of the time, Abram is canceling this auto motion that's built into the play. I think a lot of that has to do with, again, trying to get the ball off quicker. And here comes the A-gap pressure.
Right there.
The one time he doesn't quick snap it, again, the pressure's going to come in almost every time. So you got to snap it before the defense is ready. Otherwise, you're going to be in hell.
I just want to see Showtime also instantly get in this gap because look at the difference.
There's another, quick snap. A little bit of a late read. Looks like the zig was there open.
Late read there from Abram, but you see it. People are open. He's not dealing with pressure. He can sit there and really have time. I really want to see Showtime get in this A-gap instantly. Right there, Abram not quick hiking.
And now he's in the gap. He doesn't get the mug effectively.
Right there, no quick hike from Abram. As you see, nothing
Great
open.
Defense.
This is what I'm saying. I don't like what both sides is doing right now. You know, two people have their bread and butter, and we're not attacking it, man. We're not using it.
Fourth and 15. The biggest play of the second half so far. If Showtime gets his second stop, an opportunity to go up 2 possessions. The snap's up. He throws the seam. It's overthrown.
It's overthrown. That's a big stop.
Cooper DeJean, just like in the Super Bowl, a huge interception. Doesn't take it for 6, but puts Showtime in perfect position to score.
Yeah, I mean, great defense from Showtime. Can't be mad. I mean, he switched it, so that ball had to be thrown so further ahead, and, you know, hard throw for the quarterback to make.
Now, do you think that was a bad pass lead, or do you think that was just an overthrow from the quarterback?
I think it was a bad pass lead. You know, Showtime. Oh.
And there's that run game we talked about.
Yeah. I think it was just a bad pass lead, though.
Yeah, he had to get it over that underneath hook zone, so he had to go a little bit ahead of him and just right out of reach. Now second and 1, another run. And we're seeing Showtime, I think at halftime, had some time to compose himself and think about what was going on. And I think he realized that run game was really working. He's got to go back to it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we've seen Abram in the left gap. We've seen him in the right gap, and neither of these is stopping the run. Showtime fully taking advantage. He's just running every play. And he has William Perry, so if he does somehow not get the yards he's needed, William Perry's going to fall for the rest of it.
And I think the idea is, I mean, do you think there's any chance Abram would ever get out of this, you know, dollar set with all these DBs on the field? If he's getting gashed like this over and over. That's 4 runs in a row, 10 rushes, 75 yards, 7.5 yards per carry for Showtime. If you're getting 7.5 yards every time you run the ball, you should never pass the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see Abram switch to something else. You never want to see somebody just running. Last time he did this, he called it inside zone still, and he calls the inside zone.
And there it is again.
William Perry breaks a tackle. I mean, William Perry's just getting a million yards, man.
And you're seeing, even when they're hitting him, he's falling forward. It's that frame. It's that size. If you're having a center that struggles to block William Perry, how do you think a 175-pound safety is going to tackle him? And we got a little bit of a different defensive look here. Now he's going to be electing to blitz the slot corners rather than blitz the inside linebacker. We're going to see if that helps in the run game. And we see our first pass, Randy
Perfect
Moss, Showtime, putting on a masterclass on mental game, running the ball 5 times in a row, and then the quick throw when you expect to run the most.
Yeah, I mean, perfect offense from Showtime yet again. I love the fact that he took advantage of the run. Abram switched up his defense, and that might be why we haven't seen him switch his defense, because he may use that to stop the run, but it may really struggle versus the pass. And Showtime saw it instantly passed, and you saw a free touchdown.
An 11-point game now. Showtime coming out in the second half, swinging a great defensive showing. We're going to see if Abram can get back on the wagon and move this football. Again, we've seen it before. Even though Abram's down, he's not the type of player to get down on himself and start getting desperate, start forcing reads. He's still going to be patient. He's still going to win the mind game. And we're going to see how this offense performs. And there's the pressure again. Just a block shed from the interior D lineman.
Ooh, I don't like the hurry up from Abram. You can't hurry up here. The clock, there's no runoff if you go to the huddle and call your play. But if you run hurry up, there is going to be a runoff. You don't want that to happen when you're losing the game.
Exactly. Down 2 possessions, you need to preserve as much clock as you can. Even though we're still in the third quarter, that clock is going to be ever important, as there's going to be only a few more drives each player has. Ashton Genty, a nice throw on the streak. And it almost looked like the user was thinking about covering that and then decided to blitz the quarterback. Obviously, you either needed to cover the running back and let the quarterback run it, or blitz the quarterback and force him to make the read, and Abram made the read. Ray Nitschke on the user over the middle. Almost intercepted right over his head. He doesn't jump for it. Looks like that was a high ball from Abram. A good throw from the quarterback. Able to fit it into that window.
Yeah, the high ball, great in this game. If you see somebody playing 2 underneath and you throw that ball high, they're never going to get it. You just have to worry because sometimes it can be overthrown.
From the 28-yard line now. Bo Nix making call-outs at the line. We've got a drag and a post with a running back streak. There's the post. It's Egbuka into the red zone now to the 12-yard line. A great read from Abram right over the middle. And what we're noticing is that running back playing in that little seam area where a vert hook would naturally be covering. You have a drag and a post coming across the field. It kind of leaves that area vacant, and so you're forcing the user to make a decision. You can stay home on the running back, or you can cover the middle of the field with the other 2 routes, and it's very tough to cover both.
Right here, Abram blocking the tight end. Looks like he believes that Showtime is going to blitz him right here.
And
Showtime
he was
blitz him.
correct.
Has the speed
Throws
out.
the speed out. And Abram in the end zone. A little bit of a misclick from Showtime.
So Showtime, he actually saw the speed out. He clicked onto that safety to pick it off, and he just fell.
And Abram's going to be going for 2 here, trying to make it a 3-point game. He motions over the receiver, making it a 4-by-1 if you include the running back. The snap is up, only a 3-man pass rush, a QB spy on the field, so not much open. There goes the read, and it's a possession catch. We got a 3-point game.
Big thing about this game, Showtime has been playing great offense. There's the NFL rule. You cannot onside until it's the 4th quarter. So Abram scoring with 7 seconds left on the third is actually kind of good for Showtime because he doesn't have to deal with an onside now.
So you feel in that scenario, given that it's been harder to get stops, that this early you'd already be going for an onside?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially when somebody is establishing the run on me. You know, if it was only the pass, then maybe, you have more chances. But when they have, when they're such a great passer and they also have the run available as well, it just makes it way too difficult to make something shape.
And this is likely going to be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Last time we were in this scenario, Abram ended up getting a stop to put himself back in the game. Can he do it again? This one's been back and forth, a very close battle as we head into the 4th quarter. 28-25, Showtime with a 3-point lead.
Yeah, see, Abram went back to his original defense where he's mugging the gap with the linebacker. Hasn't been great versus the run. Right there, Showtime didn't have William Perry in. He had in Saquon. I can't believe I'm saying this, but William Perry is actually better than Saquon running the ball. So, yeah, as you see, he subs in Perry.
It's the thickness. In this game, size matters. People might
right
tell
here.
you it doesn't.
Oh, he passed his
play
last
action.
time he ran.
And it looks like everything is still covered.
Playmaker's the post. Nothing there.
The switch
Sitting
stick
back
is
in the pocket.
everywhere.
Throws that. That's a dot. Just
Phenomenal
patience.
composure there in the pocket. I'm surprised he had that much time.
Yeah,
Seemed
that
like
was
he
a
had
lot
all
of
day.
time. Nobody got there. He definitely stood in the pocket for at least like 8 seconds.
And yeah, if you're Abram, you got to be, you're going to make your D-line run sprints after that one. You cannot let the quarterback, even with a 3-man pass rush,
oh my gosh,
you cannot let the quarterback have that much time. And William Perry showing again why he is so valuable in the backfield. Something that your average football fan would not guess. But the funny thing about William Perry, and the thing that EA Sports does is a lot of these players, they play on the opposite side of the ball. They have a history in-game of every now and then actually playing on that side of the ball. So William the Fridge Perry in real life had snaps at running back. He even had snaps at quarterback. So that is why they gave him this card, and you're seeing that these players are taking advantage of his frame. And again, breaking tackle after tackle. It's the thickness.
Oh, my goodness.
Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. William the Fridge Perry in the end zone.
He just eliminated 3 people. There's 3 people that could have tackled right there and 3 missed tackles. That run was strictly all William Perry. All Showtime had to do was push his left stick straight.
And Abram at that point doesn't feel like there's much he could do. He had the guys there to make a tackle. The run defense wasn't that bad. But again, as I mentioned earlier, do you think there's any chance he starts to second-guess his defense and switch into something a little more heavy?
I don't know. He's I feel like if he was going to switch, he would have switched at this point.
The
only thing I've seen him do different is he's grabbing onto the safety and trying to put him in the gap as well, but it's just not really working out.
And the scary part about doing that is if it is a play action like we saw from Showtime, you could potentially leave a streak wide open when you're overplaying the run with your safeties. Looks like the drag is wide open, and still plenty of time. Yeah, you want to save the time as much as possible, but with 3 timeouts, Abram does still have enough time to go down, get even 3 points, and give himself a chance to win this game. You got to think if he gets 7, though, we are going to see that onside attempt.
Right here, Abram's going for a bomb to the right. He's going to try to look for that deep corner route.
And there's that stemmed-up corner route we talked about earlier. If he can get the time in the pocket, he might throw it. It looks like it's there. And
Oh,
Egbuka
my gosh,
on the
that's a beam.
sideline. What a laser beam from Abram.
That's a good play to stay alive. That's something you definitely need. Now you got to focus on getting into this end zone because 7 is so important.
Not only does he flip the field, he also stops the clock, as we just talked about. Now, great coverage on this play. Not a whole lot
They
open.
got to throw the ball away. Can't get sacked. So right here, why 7 is so important is because it will allow him to onside. If he takes 3, he's going to have to kick deep and try to get a stop again like that. You got to have this onside chance because, you know, Madden, it can give and take, and it gives a lot, man. So onside would be big if he can get 7.
And yeah, we haven't seen any onsides yet in this tournament, but in other big tournaments, we have seen plenty of onsides change the game. So it wouldn't be surprising to see one. But a 3rd and 19 here, going to be tough to dig yourself out of this hole. You think, I mean, I assume you get a 4th down, you would take 3 here.
Yeah, you have to take 3, depending on where you get to. It just depends. Like, if I'm Showtime, I'm just making sure that this gets a 4th down. Right there, throws a wheel.
A nice
falls
possession
down,
catch, 4th and 6. This is the questionable area.
Ah.
Obviously, you know, you take 3, you cut it to a 1-possession game. That's amazing. But then you give Showtime the ability to win the game with a field goal. Now,
Me
he's elected to
personally,
go for it and play aggressive.
I kick just because I don't want to. If you don't get this, you lose.
The
Just
snap
about.
is up. The
Nice.
return route's there. He's going to roll out with
Perfect
Bo
pocket,
Nix.
perfect
He finds
read.
it. Technical precision. Abram the
mean,
surgeon.
That's strictly talent. That's pure talent. Perfect pocket, perfect composure, perfect reads. Beautiful. And now you have a chance to onside.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see this onside attempt now. As I just mentioned, we haven't seen one successful yet.
You know, speaking of onsides, in the MCS tournament where Lambo won his belt, Lambo actually got an onside versus Abram, and that is why Lambo won his belt. So
Can Justin Tucker deliver the miracle for Abram? The kick
Does
is
he get
up.
Oh, he doesn't
hit
get
it too
back.
early.
He grabbed the ball too early.
And that right there, if you
Oh
guys,
my gosh! Hold on. Okay.
if you don't know the rules, if the kicking team touches the ball within 10 yards of the kick, it's going to be illegal touching. So even if he was able to recover that, it was going to be a penalty in Showtime's ball regardless. But still with 3 timeouts, you got the 2-minute warning as well, and you can give up 3. Given that you got 7 there, you can give up 3 here and still win the game with a touchdown. So the game is far from over. Abram a chance to win it on the defensive side of the ball. Showtime looking to put it away. A nice shove there from the O-lineman to get the 1st down.
Looks like this is going to go to the 2-minute warning. If you're Showtime, you kind of want it to go down on like 2nd and 1 there, just because the 1 has been so good. You know, it just gives you time to burn more clock, makes it way easier on yourself.
Exactly. You get him into 2nd and 1 there. There's very little hope that Abram's going to stop William the Bridge Perry for less than a yard on multiple handoffs in a row. But you see here, he is switching his defense now. Obviously, you're expecting the run from Showtime given the situation, and he's got out of that dime defense that we were seeing before. So now we're seeing a 6-1 set. There are 6 linemen on the field, a much heavier set that we were seeing before, and this is what you want to be in if you're trying to tackle a 350-pound running back.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, I'm surprised Abram didn't go to this sooner because that dollar has just not been working.
The 2-minute warning has hit, and there's the
There it
handoff
is.
in
A
the
million people
backfield.
in the backfield.
And that
All
could have
right.
been the result from the start of the game if he was running 6-1. I just don't know if that's the defense he's most comfortable in. Looks like now in 2nd and 14, he's going back to the dime defense, maybe expecting Showtime to try a pass. I'm not sure if he will. We know he's a gunslinger, but this would be a little bit...
Oh, gets in the backfield. 3rd and 15. I mean, this is big. Right here, if you're Abram, nothing else matters besides making sure he gets the 4th down right here.
Yeah,
you do not want him to get even if he gets the 4th and inches. You want to make sure you want to put the pressure on him.
Yeah, you can almost guarantee there's going to be a pass coming because the last thing Showtime wants to do is give Abram the ball back with a 6-point lead. You need to ensure that you clock him here or score. Otherwise, Abram's going to be a dangerous man at the end of the game.
Right here, you got to watch out for that wheel to the right. That's usually what he calls.
3rd and
or it
15.
could be a speed out over there.
The pressure
Nice.
comes off
Pressure
the left
comes in.
side. He
Gets
hits him. He's
the D-line
intercepted.
pick. Oh, my gosh.
Abram more than alive right now, only down 3, plenty of time, and still has a timeout. Now it's going to come down to Showtime's defense. Can he hold him to 3 and force overtime? Can he get a stop, or is Abram going to close it out in a miraculous fashion?
I mean, this is amazing. Amazing. Way to ice up from Abram, switching to that 6-1, getting him on the longer down, and shooting the gap on the next down. I mean,
the snap is up here. It all is going to come down to this drive. A nice throw underneath Ashton Genty with plenty of space, and Genty falls forward for another 1st down to the 46-yard line.
now here, this is Madden. This isn't real life. When you get to right here around the field, this is automatic field goal range. So right here, he is technically in field goal range as long as he doesn't lose yards. So from here, he's just playing for his touchdown.
Yeah, these guys are some of the best players in the world. They're not gonna miss a kick, even though they're playing on all Madden. They also have the abilities on their kicker to help with that kick meter. So anything from the 43, 45 in, you're thinking is an automatic field goal. So at this point, as long as Abram doesn't turn over the ball, he'll at least be able to force overtime. The question is he going to be able to get in the end zone?
Right here, he's blocking this tight end. He let Showtime get in that gap. Let's see if the pressure gets blocked.
He's expecting
the pressure
a
gets
blitz.
There
There goes Bo Nix.
Scramble, gets down, doesn't fumble. I mean, perfect. That's just beautiful pocket from Abram.
That was amazing. Nolan Smith had a clean shot at the quarterback, and he just skirted right around him up the A-gap.
I will say, I'm not sure what Abram's doing with this clock. I would be a little more
30 seconds. And you're in a first down, too, so it's not like you need to worry about turning the ball over here. Nice playmaker.
Beautiful playmaker. Got to call timeout. 22 seconds. You can't get sacked here. If you get sacked here, the game is going to end. So that's just about the only thing that can't happen. You cannot get sacked here because the runoff is going to be too big and you're not going to have enough time to spike the ball.
And this is where you kind of get a little antsy on both sides of the ball because obviously, and a nice throwaway right there. Obviously, if you're Showtime, you gotta defend against a touchdown. You can't give up a touchdown, otherwise you lose. But at the same time, you know if you get a sack, you could win. So there's this game of cat and mouse where how aggressive do you get, how conservative do you play, and both of these guys, I'm sure, are thinking and trying to figure out what the other one's doing here. There's the A-gap pressure, almost the sack.
That's a great throwaway. That's what he's needed. I want to see Abram just come out in this trips and run it. I don't want to see him. He needs to quick hike something. If he's going to get a touchdown, he needs to catch Showtime, trying to run into that gap, engage in so he can throw something quick.
3rd and 10. If he doesn't convert here, we're likely going to see the field goal unit.
Looks like he's going to, yep, this is a max protect. Showtime not in that gap. He's just sitting back, making sure he doesn't give up a touchdown.
3-man pass rush. He plays a lot of coverage here. There's nothing open.
He's just going to have to throw the ball away. Yep, very more time. 7 seconds, 4th and 10.
And we might be seeing overtime here in our first semifinal matchup. Abram bringing out Justin Tucker. The timeout there. Now, I got to assume that Justin Tucker has a kicking ability that helps him avoid ice.
Oh, yeah, but it depends on what some people use. Some people don't use it. Some people use other things because they don't care about ice. So we'll see. It looks like that Abram actually does have clutch kicker. Showtime, you see the identification. He's not even trying to block it. Okay, he went to
the kick is up, and the kick is good. And it looks like we have a 35-35 game as we head with 4 seconds left. At the end of half, we saw Showtime go for a big bomb. Do you think he's even going to risk that here, or is he just going to take it to overtime?
I think he's going to risk it. Oh, might see Perry on the kickoff? Oh, no. 20 from the 20, I mean, me personally, what I do here, I always think people are going to blitz me, so I try to do like a little makeshift screen. You know, he has Perry that can reverse field crazy on a spin move. So if Abram gives me like any signs that he's blitzing, I try to go to Perry and then get some blockers ahead of him. And then if not, I'm probably just going to run the ball. Right here, he has everybody backed up. Run the ball.
There's the run. He goes to the outside. He's hit, and we are going to have overtime.
The question is, whoever wins this, are they going to receive or kick? Usually you want to kick because it forces your opponent to go for 2 if you get 7, and it's really hard to get the 2-point conversions in this game.
Now, I got to say, for me, I always like to start on the defensive side of the ball. What would you choose here?
Showtime elects to kick, so Abram's going to be getting the ball. I always like to start defense. I always believe I'm a defensive player. You know, somebody can have 80 points on me, throwing 100%. The run is unstoppable, and in my head, I'm thinking, oh, I got something for them still. So, you know, I always want to be on defense no matter what.
All right, there's the return from Burden. A lot of space on the left side. There's one man to make a tackle. It's the kicker. Hits him out of bounds, and he's going to be starting his drive from the 40. A short field right now for Abram.
Let's see if Showtime can get a stop. I mean, he's gotten the stops when he's needed them.
All right, the snap is up from the 40. Bo Nix throws a quick zig.
Almost switch-sticked Abram right there.
If he threw it any later, that was likely to be intercepted. And you got to think one turnover here, the game is essentially over. So it's do or die right now. There goes Bo Nix, another first down. This is the closest game we've had by far. The first overtime match we've had in this tournament so far.
Yeah, this game right here is a great game. Abram constantly quick hiking, not giving Showtime any time to set up.
Great switch stick, high ball over his head.
Once again, we saw that high ball earlier. Right over Nitschke's head. Abram goes right back to it. Love the fact that he's quick hiking every single play now. Just driving up the field effortlessly.
All right, from the 28, the snap is up.
Step up.
Bo Nix again.
Another high ball.
You got to be careful throwing over Ray Nitschke. You know he's got lurk artist, which is an ability that allows him to jump extra high to make those interceptions. If that ball is underthrown at all, it's dangerous territory. But a lot of precision we're seeing from Abram, and the tenacity not only to come back there at the end of the fourth quarter, but then continue this momentum, and he's already at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, This is where things get scary, though. Abram hasn't really been able to make anything shake down here.
Playing
Showtime's
cool,
been
calm,
playing
and collected
great red
right
zone
now.
defense.
8 yards to go. Are we going to see the pressure coming on the defense? You see Nitschke's
Like
mugging that
blocking
center.
the tight end, try to get some extra blockers to help with his blitz.
And the
Doesn't
blitz
matter.
still comes
Nolan
in.
Smith comes in.
Seems like no matter what Abram does, if he gets this user down there to mug the center, that Nolan Smith is coming in clean every time.
Yeah, I mean, Showtime has like the sweet spot. I mean, he's just getting there every time. Goes in with a quick hike, had the corner route, doesn't throw it, scrambles
And there goes Bo
instead.
Nix.
Gets to about the 5-yard line. Okay, 30 go from the 5. He got some more yards, something closer to work with.
This is the hardest spot
I
of
think
the
he's
field
going
to
to
pass.
go for another quick hike. Honestly, I really think he will.
And he does. The
Does go
snap's
for another
up.
quick hike. Hikes, has the drag. Evan Ingram
In
gets
the
in
end
for the
zone.
touchdown.
And he's going to get a touchdown. Now, a lot of people debate here. I've seen people in this scenario go for 2 because they don't want to get their opponent to win it on a 2-point conversion. You assume now if Showtime goes down and scores, he obviously is going to go for 2 to try to win the game.
Oh, yeah, you know, it just depends on how you feel for your 2-point. If you feel like you can get the 2-point, then you definitely go, just off the simple fact that the game is probably going to be over because even if he goes down and gets 8, he's going to have to stop you from getting 3. But it's really hard in this game. That's why everybody, if they win the toss, they elect to kick because it's really hard to get that 2-point conversion.
All right, from the 20, Showtime is starting his drive. Needs 8 points here to win it. If he does not get 8, which I assume he's going to go for the 2-point conversion, he will walk away. His tournament life on the line here. 2nd and 7. You see the run game is not having as much success now. It seems like Abram may have figured something out to help contain it a little better.
If I'm Showtime, I'm running the ball like this too. Yep,
And he does go back to the run.
Ooh.
And a great
20
tackle.
gets in.
3rd down now.
That's crazy. I'm not a runner, but I'm running the game.
3rd and 5. We're going to see if he goes back to it. It looks like there's a lot of space, and some of these block sheds seem a little fluky.
Hikes.
Quick
Gets
throw.
a throw, gets a drop.
And
That was actually
for
a
the
good
game
possession
right
for
now,
us.
a 4th down. Abram with a great knockout on the play.
Whew.
It's all going to come down to this.
Here's what I think. Last time Abram was in a situation, he got that D-line pick. He blitzed that slot corner on the left. Ooh, Showtime's audibling. I don't
He
know if
audibles a
expected
trip
this.
side and flex. Now that slot corner's a little misaligned. He might get
Last time he threw a post to the tight end. Hikes. Throws the street.
seam. He's
That's
got
a
it.
dot. That's a great read.
The
Now
KO almost got it.
Yeah, so you may be thinking there's a million people right there. When you have somebody manned up, they're looking at their player. They're not looking at that receiver. So that guy flying across the field, he was never going to make a play on that.
And there's a spin back. 5 yards on the play. 2nd and 5 now. After the 4th down, you think Showtime could just breathe a little easier. Again, go back to that run game. Take his checkdowns. Not as do or die anymore. Obviously, we're still in overtime, so every play matters. But that 4th down conversion was huge for momentum. The
Nice.
snap
Has the
is
wheel
up.
route to the left. Oh, my gosh. He had the touchdown over there to the left. Great defense from Abram. Contain ended up getting to Showtime because of him stepping up.
3rd and 8. We're starting to see this pressure play a factor here.
All right, there he is.
Again, he's going to be
blitzing that slot
blitzing
corner
that
right
slot
there.
corner off the left side.
Last time we saw this, he got a D-line pick. The pressure is really hard to block when you
Here
do this.
comes the
There goes
pressure. Quick throw. He
Oh, my
catches
gosh. He boxes him out, Randy Moss.
Randy
To the
Moss
10,
doing
to the
what
front,
Randy
touchdown.
Moss does.
Oh, my gosh, and we got a 2-point conversion. You got to go for 2 here. This is for your
Here is
life.
the game, the
You got to
winner.
stand up here. You got to stand up. You got to figure out your best play, and you got to call it here.
Both
Last time we saw him in the
players.
red zone, we saw him instantly throw to the left to that Randy Moss on a quick little out route fade.
Tournament life on the line. Both players do or die. The snap
Nice.
is up.
Scrambles.
Bo Nix, a lot of
Bo
pressure.
Nix,
Throws
nothing
it.
there.
And
Abram gets the hold.
Abram
Great defense.
advances to the finals. What a play. Showtime had the game in the palm of his hand. Abram shows the tenacity to come back, and it is crazy in here right now. Everybody's on their feet screaming, and you see Abram showing a lot of energy too. A crazy end to that game. You know, we came in here saying we want good games today, and the first game absolutely delivered.
I mean, that was one of the greatest games I've ever seen. Showtime on that 2-point conversion, just hiking and instantly running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Now,
It
do
looks
you
like he
think the
panicked.
pressure? Yeah, do you think the pressure actually came in where he needed to scramble like that? Because I know once you start to run, then the D-line auto disengages and gets in there. So I'm curious, maybe he just got antsy, or if there actually was pressure forcing him to do that.
You know, something I know Showtime does, we saw it when he played Kobo. Sometimes he'll double team the end on the left with the left tackle on the left guard, and he'll instantly snap and scramble. So I think he did that right there. But the left guard and left tackle, they didn't grab on to that end to contain him. And when he saw that, he tried to cut back in. And by then, the other people were there. So it was just cooked. He just panicked, and Abram, perfect defense.
And you got to say, after the onside kick, it seemed like, Abram was in desperation mode. Showtime was already in field goal range, but he came up big. He stopped the run out of 6-1 and then forced him to pass there on 3rd and long. And wow, here's Abram here. Henry, I'm going to give you good luck, too, because you're going to go play your next game. We're going to go talk to the winner, the man of the hour. Abram, my God. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
So that was definitely the closest game we've had so far. Very electric. Give me your thought process there. The end of the game, you're down 2 possessions, and you figured out an offense to drive down, get 7. Tell me your thought process there.
Well, I know I'm playing Showtime. He doesn't win a lot, and that game showed why. Can't close games. So even when I was losing, I knew I was gonna win still. So yeah, it was just.
So you more say that he's known for folding. You think that's why you came back? You're not saying that you weren't even worried.
It's like a mix. It's a mix of my skill overpowering his and his like the pressure getting to him to close the game. He ran the ball for his life. You could tell when the guy's just not built for the moment.
Damn. Okay. Well, tell me about the 2-point conversion. It seems like you got pressure almost instantaneously. Was there anything you did there, or you think his pocket just broke down? Sometimes that happens.
Yeah. Sometimes he rolled out instantly for no reason. So I don't know if he did some protection or something, but he messed himself up, and yeah, it caused him to lose the game.
That's what we were wondering. It seems like he was trying to roll out to the left, but your guy ended up containing. And so now as we move on to your matchup to the finals, we got Henry versus Wesley. Between those two, who would you rather play?
I'd rather play Wesley because I never played him before. I already played Henry. I know what that's like. So just for the new experience.
All right, man. Well, hey, great job again. We're going to take a short break, guys, and to join me in the booth, we have a very special guest, someone who is coming off the greatest season of Madden ever. You're not want to go anywhere. It's going to be a short break. We're going to be right back with the action. Welcome back, everybody. We just had one of the most electric games I've ever seen online, much less in real life. Abram ended up taking down his opponent Showtime and advancing to the finals of this live $40,000 event. Beside me, you might recognize this man, especially if you are a Madden fan. This right here is Fancy, who is coming off the Madden Bowl championship. And on top of that, 2 belts this year. You have 3 championships on the year, the greatest season in Madden history. Tell me a little bit about your season this year.
It's been pretty unbelievable, for me, because before this year I hadn't made a finals appearance. I've been good. I've been like top 10 player. A couple like Madden Bowl Final Fours, but I've never reached that top level. And this year just with switch stick, kind of just turned me into like a really good defensive player. And I was always like pretty good on offense. I was usually a top like 5 offensive player or so. But with the switch stick added to the game, I kind of became like one of the best, if not the best, defensive player in Madden. So. Basically, that's what kind of launched me over the top.
Right, and so obviously everybody knows when you win a Madden championship, you get a belt. So you got 2 belts earlier in the year, and then you just won the Madden Bowl in London. And for that, you didn't get a belt. Show us what you got instead.
I got this ring right here.
A nice Madden Bowl ring. It looks a lot like a Super Bowl ring, honestly. I feel
Yeah.
like it's probably the same style, and that is very unique right there. I'm sure that's going to be memorabilia for you for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a cool thing to have. With the belts, and then you get the ring as well. It's crazy.
After this year, you have a whole trophy case, I'm sure, full of stuff. And so you mentioned something that I think a lot of people know, but the thing that kind of put you over the top this year, you've always been a good player, but what made you probably the best player right now is the addition of switch stick. A lot of people think about the switch stick on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, it makes you a much better defensive player, but a lot of people don't think about how it changes the way you play offense. Can you tell us a little bit more about how the switch stick has affected your offense?
Right, and that's why I think switch stick is like the best feature they've ever added to Madden, because it adds a skill gap to defense, but it also adds a skill gap to offense. The way you kind of have to play offense now, you can't just throw something on a timing anymore. You have to wait. You have to be patient as a passer. You have to become a better passer, and yeah, you have to hold on to the ball longer. And it really just forces you to be, like I said, a lot more patient passing the ball.
Right, and you're still a young player, too. You got many years ahead of you. I assume the switch stick's not going anywhere. We've talked a lot this weekend about my other co-host, Henry, who has 7 championships. You got 3 of them in 1 year. Are you looking at that next level and trying to take that title of GOAT?
I mean, who knows? I won 3 this year. Kind of did the impossible. So, Henry's got 6. So, I mean, I basically have to do that again next year if I want to, get close. But I think I'm perfectly capable, with how the game plays. I feel like it's perfectly suited for me. As long as switch stick is in the game, I feel like I have a shot.
And you know what? I agree. I think the coming year is going to be very interesting to see how the competitive landscape changes and to see you continue your success. Now, going forward to our game here, I'm sure you've been following the tournament on your flight back from London. We've had some really good games. We already just watched Abram clock his ticket to the finals. Now we're going to see Wesley and Henry, 2 guys you know very well. Break down this matchup for me a little bit.
This is actually a classic, Madden MCS history type of matchup. Henry and Wesley, they've played in 2 Madden Bowl finals, former roommates. This is going to be a really, really good game. It's 2 really, really high level, very skilled Madden players. So it's going to be, a chess match on both sides. I'm really excited.
And I actually had the opportunity to talk to both of these guys before the game, interview them and get their thoughts. Let's take a look at what they had to say now. I am here with 7-time Madden champion Henry Leverett. Henry, we are heading into the semifinals of the $40,000 live event. Yesterday, you took on Goose in the quarterfinals. Tell me about that matchup.
Yeah, Goose, great player. He came out there super prepared. I ran a defense that I feel like I'm like, it's really great versus his offense. Like, usually I stop everybody running it, but yesterday I was struggling. I felt like he was having his way, so he was really prepared. I just started trying random things at the end of the game, and it ended up working out for me, so I'm thankful. But, great player from Goose.
Your opponent, Wes, yesterday took on Hexy. Were you able to catch any of that game and scout your opponent? And tell me your thoughts on your next matchup.
Yeah, Wes, I mean, great offensive player as always. He played a perfect game. You know, he flooded. I mean, he looked dominant. He did everything right on offense. He did everything right on defense. So, it wasn't really much to watch because it was a flood and, the ball just wasn't I don't know. It just wasn't. It was one of them games where somebody just dominates. So it wasn't really much to catch on. So honestly, I had to go back and look at film from like games in Madden Bowl and things like that because he was playing similar. I got a better feel from those games. So game plan for him, I got something, and I'm hoping it works.
And you kind of touched on it there. You guys played in the Madden Bowl last year. I know you guys have a long history in the MCS. Do you have anything scouting on him from the past that you think is going to play to your advantage in this game?
Oh yeah, Wes. I mean, he's going to play good offense. But you just got to force him to those mistakes. You just got to be real abnormal and weird versus him. And if you do that, usually it works in stops. So I'm going to try to do that, and it should work out.
And on the other side of the bracket, we have Abram going against Showtime. I know you have played both those guys a lot. Who would you rather see in the finals?
Honestly, it's kind of weird. I'm big on get back, and Showtime to make this event, he actually beat me in the win to get in. So it would be nice to play him. But also Abram beat me this year, and if I won that game versus him, I would have been in Madden Bowl, which I missed out on this year. So honestly, I'm cool with either. Whoever wants to play me, I'm cool with putting down either. Honestly, I'm happy as one of them.
All right, bro. Well, good luck in your matchup.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, I am here with Wes, one of the semifinalists in the $40,000 Red Hot Gaming live event. Wes, yesterday in the quarterfinals, you played against Hexseed, and you absolutely flooded him. Tell me about that matchup.
Yeah, Hexseed, he's a run-first player and kind of new to the scene, so this event was his first live event. He's probably a little nervous. Things like that came into play, and it's a pretty easy win for me, to be honest.
All right, and in your next matchup, you're going against one of the more seasoned players in this tournament, probably the most seasoned player, Henry Leverett. I know you guys have a long history. Tell me about your approach to playing him today.
Yeah, I've played Henry a lot of times in MCS. We played a lot of big games, some of the biggest games ever in Madden. For the preparation, kind of the same. He knows what I'm going to do. I know what he's going to do. And all of our games are really close, so it's going to be fun.
And given that you guys have so much history, are there any weaknesses in his game that you think you're going to be able to exploit?
I mean, everyone has weaknesses in their game, but Henry's a pretty balanced player. I've always given him credit for that. I think he's really good on offense and defense. I think he's better on defense personally, but honestly, very balanced player. So hats off to him for that.
And then on the other side of the bracket, we got Abram going against Showtime. Between those two, who would you rather see in the finals?
I think I'd rather see Abram just because we've never actually played an important game before. So I kind of want to see how he'd do in that moment.
All right, bro. Well, hey, good luck in your matchup.
I appreciate it.
All right, there you have it, man. You heard it from the competitors. They both are confident in their abilities. Obviously, as we just talked about, there's a lot of history. And I already mentioned this. You know them very well. Who do you have taken this one?
I think I got Henry in this one. I know Henry's probably going to run 6-1, which is usually not not a lot of people run 6-1. So I feel like it's going to throw Wesley off a little bit. So I definitely got Henry in this one.
And, I definitely don't want to be betting against my other co-host, Henry. We've had a great weekend, a great time here. But I told myself coming it could go either way, and I was going to take whoever you said the opposite of. So I'm going to go with Wes here. So you're taking Henry, I'm taking Wes. And I think they're ready to go, so let's go see who's able to punch their ticket to the finals. They are ready to go now. Looks like Wesley's going to be starting on the offensive side of the ball. And this is one of those matchups people say this should be PPV. This should be we're giving you this for free on Twitch, but the history between these two, this is one of those matchups that I think a lot of people in the Madden community would pay to watch if like it was Pacquiao versus Mayweather. Oh yeah, for sure. Because this is, like I said, this is Madden history. Two different Madden Bowl finals, roommates. Plus they're playing in person, so this is a huge game. And there's the pause. I assume we're going to be making some adjustments on the line now. In the game this year, you're able to save your audibles on the offensive side of the ball, but you're not able to save your personnel substitutions. Do you like that, and do you think there's any skill gap that goes into having to make some substitutions? Because you're noticing, I think the reason Henry's doing this is due to the 6-1 he's running. Yeah, so he's doing the auto router with the 6-1, so he's going to get some cornerbacks in at linebacker, which is a thing you can do in your lineup. If you set it a certain way, you can get cornerbacks at linebacker in 6-1, which I'm assuming he's going to run this the whole game. That's his plan. So, yeah, you can do some weird things with your lineup. Yeah, and I assume someone like Henry, 6'1", obviously can stop the run well. It's also good pass defense. So he knows coming in here, even if he's completely nuking his lineup in order to make this formation work, there's no chance he's going to be running a different formation. So it's worth it for him to get this. Obviously, DBs are much more athletic than linebackers. And so having DBs on the field is going to help you a lot in the pass game.
Oh, yeah, because he's going to be able to man up. If he's running some sort of like cover 0 or cover 1, he's going to be able to man up those linebackers. They'll play a lot better.
All right, we're seeing here the first snap. Looks like Wesley's coming in gun normal, Y off close. Bo Nix as the quarterback. And yesterday when we watched Henry play, he was running 6-1 as well, but he was primarily focusing on mugging the tight end. And almost like a little fake switch stick there. And it caused Wesley not to throw the post. The post looked like it was open. Henry switch sticked onto the outside player and looked like he was going to come down, but he didn't.
Yeah, that was a really good switch right there. Kind of made Wesley think about it. Interesting seeing Henry. He ran kind of a cover 2 man right there. You don't see a lot of people doing that at 6'1", especially using these corners. He's definitely using the corners to his advantage.
Yeah, and I did talk to Henry a little bit off stream, and he did say he was going to be running a more non-conventional 6'1", so things like that cover 2 man that you're not used to seeing. And there's the manual press on the tight end, but Wesley sees it and waits on it, hits Loveland over the top, and that's the first big play of the game, going for 52 yards.
That's the thing about 6'1" as well. It's a really aggressive defense. You're going to see some cover 0 sometimes. And, yeah, the tight end just won right there off the press, and it was just free over top.
And that is one danger of pressing, is if your pressure doesn't come in, sometimes you can get beat over the top. The idea is to disrupt the route enough to where the pressure has time to get in and you can't throw that route at all. But if you can get the time, sometimes you get a little too aggressive, overextend yourself, and can give a big play. He's just thankful it didn't go for 7. There's the out route to the sideline, dropped by Randy Moss. And not really sure if that was a bad throw or a bad catch. I think most of the time that's caught there.
Yeah, I think he threw it a little bit late, maybe, right there, but I think that was a little bit unfortunate.
All right, from the 26 now. The snap's up, and Bo Nix takes a big hit, 3rd and 12.
I like what Henry's doing on defense. He's playing cover 2 man, playing cover 0, but also he's mixing in the blitz as well. He ran a little bit of a zone blitz right there. Got home, forced a big 3rd down right here.
All right, only a minute off the clock here. We're seeing a more zone coverage look here. Henry alternating between running man and zone. You see the user is still focused on that tight end. He elects to switch stick to Daniil Hunter, and the DB almost hits that loose. Wow. You see the zone knockout lit up, but he was unable to make contact with the receiver.
Yeah, and that was really good defense by Henry. That pass wasn't open. So if Wesley did catch that, it would be pretty fortunate. Ran a match right there.
I'm not going to lie, I thought he caught it. It's 4th and 12 now. Didn't realize it was a drop, and now the first big play of the game, a 4th down for Wesley. He's not going to kick his 3. He's going to get aggressive and try to convert here. And again, looks like Henry is lined up over that tight end. Are we going to see the manual press, or are we going to see him switch stick off? Looks like we got the press and then the switch stick, but Calvin Johnson beats his man wide open over the middle, and a great read from Wesley to put him inside the 10-yard line.
That's a really, really good read from Wesley under pressure right there on the big 4th down. He saw Henry user press, and when they user press right there, you can really hit something quick over the middle of the field, and that's exactly what he did.
And I do think sometimes that's the experience from Wesley coming into play. Some players, when they're in this situation, a big 4th down, they get pressure, they tend to get tunnel vision, and they don't always see the entire field. Wesley stayed calm, found his receiver, and gets the conversion. Now a 2nd and goal from the 6. And we're going to see we haven't really seen a run play from Wesley. Sometimes inside the 10, you think they might try to run the ball just to get a few extra yards, but so far he's continuing with the pass. And on the defensive side of the ball, I got to talk a little quieter because I don't want them to hear me, but it looks like a man coverage look here from Henry. The snaps up, and the pressure up the middle. A big sack from Mel Blunt, and it's going to be a 3rd down.
Yeah, that was a crazy shot right there. Henry's kind of, running like a little bit of a stock 4-man rush, it looks like, this whole drive, which usually you see a lot of people run the loop out of this formation. He's just not crashing his D-line, just letting his D-line go to work.
Yeah, yesterday when we watched Henry play, he was sending 6 almost every time. A lot of pressure going to the quarterback. This time it seems like more of a coverage focus for him. And now 3rd and goal from the 14. If you put people in coverage, it's going to be very hard to find an opening to fit this in the end zone. And there's that 4-man pass rush again. The pressure this time, as he clicks on with his user, brings the quarterback down. And I assume 4th and goal from the 18. Wesley's going to take 3.
Definitely going to take 3 here. Henry's getting some crazy sheds right now with this stock 4-man rush. I haven't really seen this before.
Yeah, he did tell me before he's crediting Mills, who kind of gave him the inspiration for this defense. So I don't know if Mills is watching right now, but Mills, kind of known as the father of 6'1",
For sure.
has a lot of wrinkles in the way he runs it that I think a lot of people don't know, and so maybe that's something that Henry figured out to help him get that pressure.
Yeah, Mills has been he's definitely the father of 6'1". You know, he'll find a way to run that every single year. Ever since it became popular, he's in that 6'1", no matter what. He'll never leave that.
Yeah, and it's funny, at first when he was running it, there wasn't a lot of people running it online, but I feel like over the years, as he's been so consistent with it and consistently had success, you start to see a lot of Mills clones online. And they run not just his defense, but they'll run the same offense, whatever he's running to, and just try to mimic his play style because he has had a lot of success with scheming out of this 6'1".
Yeah, no, he does a great job out of the 6'1". He's very familiar with it, so definitely got to give credit to Mills.
All right, now Henry's first drive. Yesterday we saw him come out of the gate swinging against Goose. We're going to see if he can do the same thing against Wesley. Looks like he's got, is his gun bunch spread nasty?
Yeah, this is one of the new formations they added in that playbook update they did pretty recently, probably a couple months ago. But they added this formation. It's in a bunch of playbooks, actually, and it's actually pretty good. Henry's usually one of the only people I've seen run it, but you can run it at a very high level, and Henry's going to show that.
And yeah, right there we saw a great pocket from Henry, even though there was pressure and not much open. Only a 1-yard sack. And so, again, I think that's the difference between a great player and a good player is how can you minimize your errors? Even if you are going to take a sack, only taking a 1-yard sack versus, you know, a 7, 8, sometimes even 10-plus yard sack is going to be a big difference in terms of your future downs.
Yeah, that's another plus to having good pocket presence is when you do take those sacks, nothing's open, you're not going to lose a lot of yards. And Henry's probably has one of the best pocket in Madden. Like, you're going to see him step up into the pocket every single play. And, yeah, he just has a really, really good pocket.
And again, when a lot of people get pressure, I notice they tend to drift back a lot, especially when they're nervous in high-pressure situations. It's just a natural tendency to try to avoid where the pressure's coming in, but sometimes it's counterintuitive. You need to actually step into it and let your blocks line up better. And obviously that's what Henry's doing very well. Now he audibles to gun bunch tight end, and it looks like he's going to be a draw here. And a great swarm to the ball for the defense, and Wesley's going to stop that one for a loss of 1.
I like that draw, though, because I feel like draw is like probably the best run you can run versus dollar. So I like Henry mixing that in, you know, not passing the ball too much, you know, mixing in run here and there. I think that's good.
Yeah, Henry was running a draw a few times yesterday, and he's one of the only competitors I think I've ever seen run a draw consistently, but he's having a lot of success. He had success with it yesterday. Right there, though, didn't look like there was much space. We're going to see if Wesley can continually stop that or if Henry elects to go away from it.
That was really good patience by Henry right there. Looked like Wesley gave up a touchdown over top of the switch stick, but Henry just looking at that drag, taking his check down. He's just playing really smart offense right now.
And big third down. I think in a 3rd and short, Henry would still elect to go for it, but it looks like Tolbert going to get the first down. A dive from the defense, barely missed. Would have forced a 4th and short, but Henry with a fresh set of downs now looking to continue this drive as he approaches the red zone. He's already in field goal range. I know that obviously nobody likes to settle for field goals, but given the fact that Wesley already got 3, I think Henry would be more inclined if he was going to 4th down to get that field goal.
Yeah, you're kind of playing with house money right now. You got the stop, you got the hold the 3 the first drive, as well as getting ball at half. So Henry's in a really good spot right now. Even if he takes 3, he's still in a fine spot. Game will be even.
All right, 2nd and 14. This is only the 2nd drive of the game, and we're already towards the end of the 1st quarter. Both of these guys playing a little bit more methodical than we've seen in games past. You know, taking their checkdowns where they are, like you mentioned. And there's Tolbert again with the catch, breaking tackle after tackle, all the way down to the 22, forcing a 3rd and 1 now. Another 3rd and short for Henry.
Yeah, that's the thing about you know, Henry and Wesley. They're both very methodical on offense. Like the game you just saw, Showtime and Abram. These guys are going to chuck the ball down the field. You know, it's kind of a polar opposite with this game. They're going to take their drags, check down a lot, run a lot of short route combos, and just play really methodical offense.
Yeah, and just like the last 3rd down, we see him run. I think the exact same run with Mike Tolbert. Again, finding some space, getting the 1st down, and another fresh set of downs. And as we head into the 2nd quarter, Henry is now in the red zone, audibling mostly again between this gun bunch spread, nasty, and gun bunch tight end. We know Henry obviously loves to run bunch. In years past, he's always been one of the best players out of bunch. And so it's no surprise to see him running a medley of bunches here as Bo Nix gets 2 yards right there on the scramble. Now, you were in bunch for a lot of your career, obviously trips tight end as well. What was your favorite offense this year?
My favorite offense this year was for sure the Eagles playbook that I was ran with. I feel like it's a really, really good formation to attack switch stick. It's very spread out. The thing with bunch, any kind of compressed formation, is really easy to switch stick against those, corner routes and stuff. With the doubles or the normal wild close, it's very spread out, so it's a lot harder to switch stick, which is what you need in this game.
And you saw right there, if there was no switch stick from Wesley, there was going to be a few routes that were about to be open, but Wesley was all over the place and almost baiting. It looks like he's waiting till that route comes open to switch stick at the last second, because if you smother it from the start, Henry's obviously not going to throw it. He's a great player. He's not going to make a bad read. But if it looks open enough where he can fit it in there and you get to the switch stick at the last second, that's where you're going to get your turnovers. And it looks like a good stop right there for Wesley, giving Henry the first tough decision of the game. Will he tie it up and kick 3 or try to get aggressive and take the lead here? 4th and 2 from the 5. What do you think is going to happen here, Fancy?
I feel like Henry's going to – he's definitely going to pass the ball. I don't know if he's going to run bunch right here. Yeah, it looks like he's going to audible to trips. Trips super popular. He's going to go to bunch right here. I think he converts this.
All right, 4th and 2. It is tough to pass inside the 5 as that field is super compressed, but these guys are experts. We're going to see if Henry can find a receiver. A lot of pressure, and wide open in the back of the end zone is Christian Watson on the out route. Henry finding the open receiver instantaneously, and he takes a 4-point lead.
That was a great route combo by Henry. Wesley sent the pressure right there, sent 6, engaged with the line. Henry blocks his running back. And those out routes from the slot corner out of bunch are really, really good in the red zone. They kind of get in that little pocket, between the safety and the clouds on the outside. So that was a great route combo and a great read.
And now a little bit more pressure on Wesley. Obviously, he had a great drive in the opening drive, but unable to punch it in the red zone. And we're going to see if that changes here. And if he can get 7 on this drive. Now, one thing I noticed about these guys, too, is they're limiting. We talked about offensively they're playing more conservative. But they're also doing a good job defensively to make their opponent work and play conservative. I think sometimes, again, some of these more aggressive players will give up the big play because they're selling out for a turnover or switch sticking down on a corner route. It seems like Henry and Wesley have a better understanding of how to switch stick without giving up the giant play.
Yeah, and you're not going to see these guys get too aggressive on defense a lot. Because in this game, you really don't need to, especially with switch stick.
A lot of space for Randy Moss.
Out of there.
The only guy who can catch him is Mel Blunt. He's just getting outran, and Wesley going to celebrate a little bit as Randy Moss falls into the end zone. And just like that, he responds, takes his lead back. And how demoralizing is that for Henry? You just had a long, drawn-out drive where you had a couple, 3rd and 4th down conversions. You end up getting the lead in the end. But then just like that, you lose it again.
That is one of the worst feelings in Madden when you give up just an 80-yard touchdown, especially to a jet sweep. Like Wesley didn't have to work for anything. He just got a free 80-yard touchdown. So definitely demoralizing if you're Henry.
And we talked about it yesterday. The jet sweep started being popular in college football before it was popular in Madden, and then it has slowly overtaken the Madden scene. Was that just due to people not understanding how effective it could be, or did they add more jet sweeps in the playbook update?
I feel like the jet sweeps, they've been in Madden. The past few years. Definitely a lot better in college football because of strictly just the movement. The movement's a lot faster in college football. But it is a really good mix in Madden as well, especially with these defenses, especially like 6-1 with all those dudes inside the box. Jet sweep, you can get outside, get huge plays from it. So it's definitely a really good option to run the ball.
And a good sign from Henry right there. Sometimes after you give up a big play like that, your first inclination is get right back to the ball, start swinging and go for the fences again to try to take your lead back. But he runs the ball with Mike Tolbert on the first play and then following it up with another drag inside to Randy Moss. So it doesn't look like he's shaken at all by that play. He's right back to work and has no problem taking his yards where it's given.
Oh, yeah. Henry's the go for a reason. Stuff like that isn't going to shake him. But, I'm expecting him to, bounce back right here, score. He's playing a really, really, really good offense right now. So.
And here's that draw play again. This time a lot more space, as it looks like the left side, they penetrated the line a little bit, but he was able to cut it to the right and have a lot more open space. With those draw plays, if you're able to get past that interior level, there's not many people on the other side that will get you, because due to the slow handoff, the DBs back off quite a bit. So it's all about that front 7. If they can stop the run, then you're going to be okay. But if you, and there's the wheel route. And the KO, it looks like he just breathed on it. He coughed on him, and he drops the ball.
That's crazy. That was a good switch from Wesley, though. He is kind of between the wheel and the streak, kind of had the user both, and he ended up getting the knockout right there.
2nd and 10 now. Nice pocket from Henry. Throws underneath Randy Moss. Great spin move, and Randy Moss into the open field. Just like we saw for Wesley, no one is going to be able to catch the speedster, and a quick touchdown for Henry. Now back to Wesley. We talked about it being a methodical, slow game, but both of those guys have a couple big plays that followed up, and we might be seeing a shootout here.
Yeah, this could end up being pretty high scoring, especially if Wesley scores quick right here before half. Could definitely be in the 30s. But yeah, I mean, these are two really, really good offensive players, so there's not going to be too many stops. So I'm expecting both these guys to score almost every single drive.
And one thing to keep in mind is Henry is going to get the second half kickoff, a huge return right there to the 45. But Henry is going to get the second half kickoff, and given that he held Wesley to 3 on the opening drive, if he can end the half with the ball, he's going to have a huge advantage. Obviously, Wesley has the clock on his side right now, 2:23 left with about 55 yards to go. But I'm interested to see if Wesley tries to take down the clock. As you see a run on the opening play, that might be his intention here. I assume if he takes this as a 2-minute warning that his intention is going to be to make this the last drive of the half.
Yeah, I think that's definitely his intention. I mean, he just chewed the clock, took it to the 2. And, I mean, if I'm Henry, I'm definitely getting aggressive on defense. If I give up a big play right now, it's not the worst thing in the world because I'm going to get the ball back before half. So I'd like to see him get aggressive right here.
Exactly. I think that's where a lot of more casual players fail to realize where the clock management plays into effect is when you play super aggressively, obviously you're more likely to get a stop, but you're also more likely to give up a huge play. But given that you don't want to be clocked, sometimes getting clocked is just as bad as a stop. And there goes Bo Nix to the left side, a ton of space, and a slide down. A little bit short, you see, Wesley doesn't want to take too many yards because he knows he needs that field in order to clock.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to take that down to like the 20 or 30. You want as much space as possible to work with. He's just trying to get this clock down.
We're seeing mostly a man coverage look on the field, a little bit of a scissor man look from the left side with the manual press on the tight end. And he pushes him off. He had the tight end wide open. He doesn't see it in time, and the pressure gets to him. 2nd and 10 now.
I'm surprised he didn't see that because remember last time he hit that user press over the top to the tight end. So really surprising he didn't hit that right there.
And, that's kind of the scary thing about user pressing is sometimes those things are out of your control. He's using Brent's, and the tight end is big and strong and powerful. Sometimes the CPU just bulldozes you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And there's a throw to the sideline. A great ball. He racks it out of bounds. Probably should have possession caught that one. I'm not sure if maybe that was a bad animation or if did he correctly rack that?
I believe he just got a bad animation right there. I think he might have actually possession caught that too. Sometimes you just get really bad animations on the sidelines.
Unfortunate break for West right there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, 3rd and 10. We're seeing another, what looked like he was about to manually press the tight end. It looks like he walks away from it now. Switch ticks back onto the D-line, and there's the drag wide open. It's Watson. And, in that situation, obviously he got cheated on the sideline, but now he gets the first down in this around the same spot, and the clock's still moving.
Yeah,
so
honestly,
all is well that ends well.
It kind of worked out for him, Now he's got all this space to work with at the 26 with the clock rolling instead of being out of bounds. So he's definitely in a good spot.
And after this play, I assume, there's the jet sweep. Henry talked about this yesterday when we watched Wesley play, is anytime you're on that right side or the right hash or the left hash, if you notice where Randy Moss is, it sets up the jet sweep perfectly. And you'd assume that almost all the time, Wes is going to prefer to jet sweep as opposed to an inside handoff, especially against something as heavy as 6'1".
Yeah, because the thing with the inside zone, you can definitely get big plays from it.
And there is a big
there
play,
it is right there.
and looks like he's just going to take his points. He thought about going down for a second, but given how his first drive ended, where he had to take 3, I think he chose to take the points, take his lead back, and rely on his defense here.
Yeah, I feel like with 37 seconds, you got to be confident on defense that you can at least not give up a touchdown right here, and I think that's what Wesley's thinking. He might even get aggressive, try to get a stop, and that will put him in a great spot.
Right, going into half also tied, not the end of the world. Going into half, losing when Henry has the ball, that is where things can start to get really bad because then you need a stop in the second half. And you mentioned earlier, Henry, one of the greater offensive players we got, so is Wesley, but sadly that's not going to help him get a stop on defense.
Yeah, and the thing with Madden this year, basically every year, these possessions right here at the end of the first half, it's usually a huge factor in deciding the game. A lot of games are won or
Playmaker,
lost.
Cooper DeJean almost got there. Knocked it out, though. But, yeah, these end-of-half situations are huge because the way the clock ends in the first half and at the end of the game, obviously, is just as important as a full possession. So the clock, given there's only a few drives on each side per half, is very, very important. And there's Olsen underneath. He tries a possession catch that. I would have expected a rack with the amount of space he had.
Yeah, that was, I don't know why he just possession caught that. I feel like he could have racked and tried to get out of bounds right there, but 3rd and 6 right here.
Big down. Now, you think if he gets in a 4th down, he's going to punt this?
I believe so. I believe so. There's not enough time.
And the D tackle gets to him, hits him, and it's going to be a 4th down. We're about to see the decision from Henry, and it looks like he is not going to punt. He's right to the ball.
You know, if you don't get this, you're in a really rough spot right here.
And you know, I don't know if I really like this decision, the risk reward, given you got 1 timeout, 21 seconds. Even if you get it, you're kind of in a tough situation. But he might have something. He might have seen something that he likes. Obviously, you don't want to give Wes a short field if you fail to convert. We're going to see if Henry can convert this big down right here. 4th down. The snap is up. Bo Nix throws to the sideline, and the pressure gets to him. And trying to save a clip there, see if he saw something. But with 17 seconds, Wes has all 3 timeouts. Obviously, I think he's going to be shooting for the end zone, try to make this a 2-possession lead. Because even if you go up by 6, Henry's starting in the second half with the ball. And he could obviously take his lead right back with a touchdown. So Wes probably going to get a little aggressive trying to get in the end zone here.
Yeah, he's definitely pushing for 7. That would put him in an amazing spot for this game.
And a great defensive play from Henry. We had a cover 2 shell in the field, and it looked like the seam was going to be wide open, but he was able to switch stick onto an underneath defender and cover that so Wes couldn't throw it. And again, anytime you see a cover 2 shell, you know right down the middle, that's going to be one of the weak points, and you got to make sure you cover that on defense.
Yeah, and that was a great pocket right there by Wesley. You know, saw nothing open, just took off, took his yards.
And again, with 3 timeouts, the middle of the field is wide open. You don't need to push to the sidelines or the end zone. You got a couple more plays left in you. There's the motion to the flat, doesn't throw it, and rolls out left. He's hawked down, and it's going to be the 2nd timeout for Wesley. 2nd and 21 now.
Great defense from Henry. He really likes going to this cover 2 man, especially in the red zone, because there's not a lot of space to work with, so it's going to work out for him.
All right, 7 seconds remaining. You got to think Wes only has about 2 plays left maximum. And he motions out Barkley there. Going to be an empty backfield. We are going to see a pass, probably trying to push into the end zone right now. And he throws it away for intentional grounding. 4 seconds left. And we're probably going to see the field goal unit here.
It's a 3rd and 31 right here. But yeah, he's definitely taking his 3. It's going to be a 6-point game at half. Henry getting ball. It's basically almost an even game. So this is going to be interesting.
They've been very back and forth. The kick is up. And 1 second remaining. Now in this scenario, I think the only player we've seen that has tried to make something happen with a couple seconds left is Showtime. Everyone else has played it very conservatively.
Yeah, no William Perry on the kickoff here, so.
Deion Sanders to the outside, and that's going to take us to halftime. So, Fancy, tell me what you thought of that first half. Very evenly matched, as we saw, and the score shows it too.
Yeah, I mean, basically an even game. You know, Henry got a early hold to 3 on Wesley, but, you know, Wesley got that stop right before half. I think that was the biggest point in the first half. You know, Henry going for that 4th down. I feel like that changed the momentum a lot. I didn't really like Henry going for that. You know, you have 1 timeout. So even if he converts that, he doesn't really have a lot of time to, you know, make something happen. So I think Henry was getting a little bit too aggressive right there. But overall, it's very even first half, so it should be a good game.
Yeah, you know, one thing I got to think, too, that maybe Henry was thinking about is even though he did fail to convert that 4th down, even though it was maybe a tad bit over-aggressive, he held him to 3. And so despite all that, he's getting the ball only down 6. He knew that coming out of half, he was still going to have the ball. And so he could still take his lead back. Obviously, a 1-point lead wouldn't be as good as maybe a 4-point lead. And additionally, maybe Henry was thinking even if he punted, there was still a strong chance West could have got 3. So in his head, maybe he's thinking, I don't think I'm going to give up 7. Worst case, I gave up 3, and I still have a chance to convert here. And so at the end of the day, like we said, evenly matched. Both players have showed, you know, sparks of advantage on each side, and we're going to see in the second half who takes it. Henry starting with the ball coming out of half. All right, back on the field now. Winner of this game going to go on to play Abram in the finals. It's a 6-point game currently. Henry with the ball, looking to take his lead back with 7 here.
Yeah, this is a huge drive right here, especially coming out of half. You need 7 right here. This is a statement drive.
And I got to say, that air trucking ability, is Mike Tolbert above the weight threshold?
I believe he is.
To get an air truck. I know in real life, Mike Tolbert looked like a human bowling ball.
I believe he is over that. I think the threshold is what, like 246, 247?
Something around there, yeah.
It looked like he got the good animations right there, so he's definitely above that. I've actually never seen the Mike Tolbert card be used, which is interesting.
And I'm curious if, and he's a little bit over the line there, Henry knew it too. Great read, but just one step too far for Bo Nix. What I was going to say is I'm sure Henry chose him due to the fact that he has that weight threshold. For those of you guys in the chat that don't know what I'm talking about, in the game, if you reach a certain weight, I think it is above 245 pounds, so 246 and up, William the Fridge Perry, Montez Sweat, Mike Tolbert, all of these guys get a different animation when they truck. It almost gives them like a slight speed boost in some ways where it throws off the pursuit angles for the defense. So even though Wesley had Mike Tolbert dead to rights in the backfield, a little air truck and the tackle was just missed, and he ends up getting a big gain.
Yeah, not only do you get the speed boost, the defenders kind of dumb out as well. So it's a little cheesy, but yeah, it's definitely a good tactic to be used.
And this is the difference between some of these players and maybe a casual player online who doesn't understand that type of thing, is it really does come down to the exact weight. There are a few players out there who are like, 243 pounds, and, they don't want to use them just because they don't get that specific animation at that weight.
And I like Henry using the, a lot of people do this, he's using the halfback post route instead of the streak route. That post route will get a little bit more to the outside than the streak route, where that hook roll really couldn't get there to the outside. So that's really good play design by Henry.
Yeah, it's almost like between a wheel and a streak. It's right in that sweet spot. And you notice he's also stemming it up super far so that the...
it basically runs like a streak.
Yeah, basically runs a streak, so that cut is never going to come because it's like 40 yards downfield.
Yeah, that's very smart.
All right, a big down right there to the 39. Henry moving the ball nicely. Seems like Wes has had some opportunities with his tackling, but Henry just able to evade it. There's a throw to the flats. It's Tolbert again. Trucking again.
Oh,
that man is on anabolic steroids. No doubt in my mind. Check his urine.
Yeah, and there's also these players that are able to air truck. I feel like they just break more tackles. They just run through people. Yeah, it's crazy.
And another first down for Henry here. Now to the 22, almost in the red zone. Throw underneath to Greg Olsen. Gets the catch again, breaking off tackles. It seems like he has tank on basically every player.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of yards after contact on this drive.
And I think this is all intentional because given that he's air trucking, that means he's not playing on conservative. And we saw it yesterday in Henry's game against Goose. One of the big reasons he won the game was forcing a fumble because Goose wasn't playing on conservative. So Wesley, seeing that he's not a conservative, is going to be hit sticking, and there's Tolbert again to the outside. He's going to be hit sticking him nonstop. However, if you have the ability to tank, the hit stick is not going to do you any favors, and if anything, is going to guarantee a broken tackle.
Yeah, with the way the AP is set up right now, I feel like a lot of the players, a lot of the skill positions are going to have tank on them. So hit sticking, isn't that much of a viable option. But if you do catch one of those guys that doesn't have tank, you can definitely force a fumble.
And there's a nice throw to Greg Olsen over the middle, right between defenders. Perfect timing. And, if you throw that ball a little too early or a little too late, it's either knocked out or intercepted. Henry was right on time with that one.
Yeah, that was a great read. Perfect timing. Caught that little pocket in the red zone. So great read. And Henry up 1 now. Basically just a back and forth game here.
Yeah, and exactly what we said. Despite him giving up that play at the end of half where Wes got 3, he took his lead right back. It is only a 1-point lead. I think that if Wesley was to score 7 here, he's likely going to go for 2 to try to get a full 7-point lead back. You think that's the smart move there?
For me, I like to kind of take my points. Like in this situation, I feel like I don't like going for 2 unless I absolutely have to, or I think they're going to clock me. I feel like with 2 minutes left in the third here, I feel like there's a lot of time left. So I don't like to chase points in that situation, but I can see why someone will want to go for 2 right there for sure.
All right, a 4-man pass rush. A lot of time for Bo Nix. The playmaker up the field. Can he get the ball off? He throws to the sideline. It's Christian Watson making the jumping catch. He's about 6'4", so it's hard to throw it over his head.
Yeah, that was great patience by Wes there. Play breaks down. This 4-man rush isn't really coming in like it was earlier in the game, so just a lot of broken plays for Wesley right now.
I saw the playmaker right down the middle of the field. I thought he was going to throw the backside and hit the streak down the middle. Looks like the corner out was there for a second. He doesn't throw it. I saw the switch stick coming over there. Sometimes, things look open, and then you realize, well, if you would have thrown it, the user would have ended up getting there.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the switch stick, too. When you think something's open, and There's a switch stick right there. Just covered the pass.
Yeah, adds a whole new layer to the game that I think a lot of people online probably, if you play the game casually, might not even realize, because that is truly the skill gap, is if you can switch stick effectively. I notice a lot of people online don't even try it at all. They don't
Oh my
know how
God.
to do it.
You just see Julian Springs right there?
Did
He
press
ran
the tight end?
Yeah, he ran him over. He threw him to the ground. So it basically just
And
blew
that's
up
with
the
a
entire
size
play.
disadvantage too. The tight end I think is much bigger than him. Brent's I know he's a strong safety, but and another first down for Wesley. A nice quick throw to Randy Moss.
Good read right there. I love that play. I ran that play a lot in the Madden Bowl, especially against man coverage. You know, that return route is always going to be man, especially with that post too. So it's really, really good play.
And this here, I'd say, obviously, everybody knows zigs are some of the best routes in the game to beat man coverage. But a return route is almost like a reverse zig, and both of them act in very similar fashion. You know, you get to a certain area of the field, but it's the timing of it where it delays to spread out your routes a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like it runs a little bit slower than a zig route, and I do like it against zone because it's gonna come inwards instead of outwards. So you're gonna have more time to throw that route.
Great switch stick right there from Henry. It looked like that drag was coming open. He got onto the D lineman and was able to cover it.
Yeah, that's just high level stuff right there.
Because again, it looks open, and then if you throw it, he's getting under that. And I know that there's a lot of people, me included, that would have thrown that in, probably thrown a pick six. Looks like we got a stock cover 4 on the field here. And the drag is wide open. It's Loveland. I thought he was going to break that tackle right there, but he's dragged down by Cooper DeJean, but not before a first down.
I don't really like the match call right there from Henry. I feel like you gotta just kind of play soft coverage right there, get him to a 4th down.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of crossing routes from Wes. You see on both sides, we got kind of an intermediate crosser and then either a drag or an in route, shallow, and against match coverage, those are both going to be tough to cover.
Yeah, drags do a really good job as match.
And that is going to take us to the end of the third quarter. Boys, put your 4s in the chat right now. We got a close one. Only a 1-point game right now with Wesley driving. Looking like even if he gets stopped here, he might elect to take his 3 and take the lead back. But it's 2nd and 12 right now from the 25. Let's see the 4s in the chat. Also want to remind everybody, after this game, we're going to be doing a giveaway for, I believe, a Patrick Peterson card. I know we did 2 of those giveaways yesterday. We're going to be doing another one after this game and another one at the end of the game. Nice read right there. What a cut. A hard cut from Christian Watson.
That's crazy. He kind of dumped out the computer right there. I've never really seen that before.
Usually when you just manually cut like that, you can get a user, but you're not usually going to get the CPU. But that was probably the hardest cut I've seen.
He made that dude teleport.
All right, 3rd and 1 right now. Looking like mostly man coverage on the field. Looks like a manual press on the tight end too. And there's this throw to the sideline. It's a catch.
I thought that was a KO for sure.
And I think it would have been if it was zone coverage. The difference is, you can only have so many KOs, and so mid-zone KO obviously is going to work in any zone in that section of the field. But man coverage looks like he didn't have the KO on that guy. All right, 1st and goal from the 3. We have not seen much running at all from Wesley. You got to think you might see one here, and there it is. Cuts it inside with Barkley, and Saquon Barkley fighting into the end zone. Now the decision, do you go for 2 to try to make this a full 7-point lead? Again, if it's me, I'm doing it. You said you might not this early.
I think I would go for 2 in this spot because now there's only 4 minutes left in the game.
And he's going to run it again. Saquon over the pile, Dolphin dive, and he's got the 7-point lead. 28-21. West in the lead right now. Now a big drive coming up for Henry.
Yeah, that was a big 2-point. Now Wesley's in a really, really good spot to win the game. Even if Henry might try to clock this actually because he does not want Wesley getting the ball back in a tie game, even if Henry gets 7.
There's a spin inside, a big hit on Christian Watson. And that's scary right there because obviously, again, I don't think either of these guys are playing on conservative. But even if you are playing on conservative, if you take a hit on the kickoff, there is no conservative on special teams. So if you take a big hit like this, there's a big chance you fumble on special teams no matter what.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him go down right there because you don't want to lose the game off of that. Just completely out of your control, especially spinning into a hit stick too.
All right, a lot of pressure coming off the right side, but also a lot of time for Bo Nix. He hits the wheel right up the sideline. Greg Olsen trucking, almost staying on his feet, but being dragged down at the last second. That was almost a quick touchdown for Henry.
Yeah, that was a great read right there. I actually really like that route combo that he's doing with the wheel and the streak.
And now you're going to see something interesting too. Henry needs to hurry up because even though obviously he's got plenty of time on this drive, what's going to end up happening is even if he scores here, he's just going to tie it up. If he goes for 2, maybe he takes the lead, but likely going to tie it up even if he scores. The way the clock is moving, it's looking like Wes is going to have an opportunity to clock that last drive and win with 3. And we know in this game it is much easier to get 3 than it is to get 7. Again, over the line of scrimmage, he's not even going to try to score because he knows the quarterback was just one step too far. That's the second time we've seen that happen today.
Yeah, if I'm Henry, I'm especially trying to score as fast as possible right now because I got that big play, first play, already at the 40-yard line. So this is a big down right here.
Yeah, the difference between trying to clock somebody 3.5 minutes versus trying to clock them, under 2 minutes is a huge difference. So trying to leave Wes enough time to where, it's a difficult clock because Henry's good enough on defense where it's not easy to clock someone. It's not easy to walk someone down like that.
Yeah, and even if he gets the ball back, tie game, Henry can get aggressive on defense as well. If there's enough time on the clock, even maybe give up a touchdown, get the ball back again. So
right. And there's a throw underneath. It's caught by Calvin Johnson. He jukes to the outside, and that's going to be a first down at the 22-yard line. And again, Henry has talked about this a lot, is even though he's in up-tempo mode, he's not going to hurry to the line. You notice when he goes to the huddle and comes back out, there's no runoff. But when he hurries to the line, you're going to see a large runoff. So in order to save that clock, he's going back to the huddle, even though he's trying to play up-tempo.
Yeah, no huddle has honestly kind of been used as like a true clock feature this year. It's weird how the clock works in this game. But, yeah, you don't see a lot of people no huddle, especially if they're losing.
Yeah, it is kind of counterintuitive, but the runoff can be very inconsistent as well, so it's nice to know when you're going to the huddle exactly what you're going to get. 2nd and 10 now, 3:10 on the clock. Henry approaching the red zone. A lot of time for Bo Nix. Back of the end zone. It's a dot. And that is the tight end, Greg Olsen, who's had a big day so far for Henry, and he's going to go tie up the game. Henry looked like he might be going for 2 here.
Yeah, I like this. I like this because if he doesn't get it, he's just going to onside kick. So this is really smart by Henry. He's kind of in a perfect spot for this situation right here.
Can he take back the lead? 27-28. Henry going for 2 now. There's the snap, a 4-man pass rush. A quick throw, and it's intercepted on the 2-point. A diving play from Patrick Peterson. That is not the first time we've seen Patty Pete make an enormous play. And as I mentioned before, we're going to be giving away that card right after this game. So if you want to play with that Patrick Peterson, all you got to do is stay in the chat, and we will be giving it away to one viewer. All right, an onside kick attempt here. Haven't seen a successful one yet, but that is a great onside.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Henry gets it, and he gives a little smile. Wes looking a little defeated. Not much you can do there.
That's the game we play. It happens to everyone.
I've been saying it all day. We haven't seen an onside be successful yet, but I just had a feeling there was going to be one. And, of course, it's with Henry, who he always seems to find a way.
Yeah. I mean, his whole career, he's just had little moments where just, some things just fall into place, especially when it's your time, like Henry's. It's crazy, but crazy onside kick.
And in the situation we were kind of setting up for Wes where, clocking someone at the end, winning the game with 3. Now Henry's in that position, and Wes is in a situation, even though he's in the lead, Henry's only about 10 yards out of field goal range. And so you got to get a stop.
Yeah, Henry's about like 2 first downs from just ending this game, actually. So Wesley just has to get a stop right now.
3rd and 5. The curl route's not open, and he throws the return route. That's the route we were just talking about. It's delayed enough to where, it comes back to the middle of the field late because a lot of those drags and ins, if you don't hit it right on the initial snap, it runs into flat zones and other zones on the other side of the field. The return route is delayed enough where you have time to make your other reads, and if those get covered, then oftentimes that late read over the middle is going to be right there.
Yeah, it's almost like a really, really delayed drag. Gets in a really good spot in the field, especially you can even throw it quick if there's a little pocket. It's definitely like a top 3 route in the game.
And now Henry going into under center mode. There's one guy on the outside, and it looks like with a first down, things are going to start to get tough for Wes. You're going to have to get big on this set of downs, otherwise the game's over.
Yeah, definitely got to get a stop right here, this set of downs, if you're Wesley.
Back under center. That stretch had a lot of space last time. Looks like it is going to be going the other way this time. Stuffed in the backfield. A good start for Wes. And there's a timeout.
I like Wes going the 6-1 right there. Just making sure you know Henry's going to run, so making sure you stop the run first, get him to a second down, and just try to get a stop right here.
Now, if you're Henry, any chance you pass here?
Yeah, I think he's definitely passing. He just wants that one first down. That's basically going to end the game. 2nd
and 11. The running back gets kind of caught up. He throws it still, and he catches it despite getting hit. Now 3rd and 4, and the difference between a 3rd and 4 and a 3rd and 11 is huge.
Oh, yeah, especially in a spot like this. You're at the 21-yard line. You don't have too much space to work with, so going from 11 to 4 is everything. So you can kind of throw any route you want right here.
And I know a lot of people would expect, if you're a casual viewer, to, like, this is not 4-down territory. You need to take your 3, take your lead. But given the clock situation, I think even if Henry doesn't get this, he might go for it.
Oh, he'll definitely go for it if he doesn't get this. He did not want to give
Snaps
Wesley
up,
the
great
ball back.
switch stick, intercepted! Wes gets it done, and Jalen Ramsey taking it the other way. There's one man who can make a tackle. It is Bo Nix, the quarterback, and he gets it done. And now Henry still does have 3 timeouts, so the game is not quite over. But an amazing play by Wesley to get the stop there.
I cannot believe Henry missed that. His wheel was wide open. I don't know if he didn't want to take the touchdown. I don't know, but his wheel was wide open on the left. That's crazy.
And yeah, there was 2 guys there, so even if the underneath guy didn't make the play, the other guy was likely going to at least hit it loose.
Yeah, I can't believe he missed that.
And so now the exact same situation flipped again. Henry with 3 timeouts is going to need to stop on this set of downs. There's a jet sweep. He cuts it back. Looked like he might have actually had the block to the outside, but cuts it inside, forced him to use that first timeout. And with how successful that jet sweep has been, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that again in the next couple plays.
Yeah, for sure. Jet sweep can get a lot of big plays, and especially if you don't blow it up. If you don't blow it up for a 5-yard loss, it's probably getting kicked out to the outside.
2nd and 7 now. We're seeing the mug on that tight again. He pushes him off. And the pressure gets in. You know, Henry actually not looking in too bad of a spot. Now, with 1 timeout remaining, Wes is right there in field goal range. If he takes another sack, he might be pushed out of field goal range. The thing is, with that 1-point lead, if you get 3, you force Henry to get 7. And it is so much harder to get 7 than it is to get 3, given how far these kickers can kick from. But this is the biggest play of the game so far. Bo Nix rolling out, playmaker's back, and he's going to stay in bounds, make him use that last timeout. And I would assume Wes is going to kick 3 here.
Yeah, no, you definitely, especially in this game. Me personally, I love being up 4 in this situation. I want to be on defense when my opponent has to get 7 in this situation. I'm very, very comfortable if I'm Wesley.
And we've seen it pretty much every drive. The big plays have been limited. So even though Henry has been able to move the ball, he's done it. He's had to work for it. You know, he's had to take his drags, take his out routes, and he's had a couple big plays like on those wheel routes up the sideline, which I'm sure Wes is going to be trying to prepare for. But if Wes can play bend but don't break, conservative defense, he just needs to keep Henry out of the end zone.
Yeah, and he needs to keep him in bounds as well. If that clock is running, it's kind of hard with the runoff in this game to get down the field with no timeouts in a minute. So Henry definitely needs to look to get out of bounds on these plays.
All right, a huge drive for Henry. This game has lived up to all the hype. Very evenly matched. Both teams have had some things go their way, some things go against them. Wesley now needs 1 stop to get out of here. Henry needs to get a touchdown to stay alive. There's a throw underneath to Tolbert. Tolbert, a big gain on the play, and that right there is what you can't do if you're Henry or if you're Wesley.
Yeah, no, especially first play of the drive, you get 25 yards, 25 yards. That's exactly what you want if you're Henry.
The spike there brings up a 2nd and 10. And given how much these guys like to audible between formations, I think the spike obviously is just so Henry doesn't have to come to the line and just quick snap something that he doesn't like. He can actually come out, mess with the alignment a little bit through these audibles. And you see there's a throw underneath the Tolbert again. This time, not as much space, but still a first down, still a big gain. But that clock is moving, and there's the spike again.
Yeah, especially you don't want to hurry. You don't want to hurry up because you want to set up your play at the line and not have that clock roll.
And so remind me, even though the clock, when you go to the huddle and come out in, let's say, the 3rd quarter or the 1st quarter, isn't going to run inside the 2-minute warning, that runoff, even if you go to the huddle, is still pretty extreme.
Yeah, it's going to be about 10-15 seconds.
Looks like he might have it. The switch stick's there, and Wes gets it done. Malcolm Jenkins goes down, and the game-sealing interception.
It looked like he had it over top, but it looked like an inaccurate from Bo Nix right there.
A little bit of an underthrown
I
ball.
feel like he had him beat, didn't he?
We're going to look and see this pass here.
Yeah.
It's a yellow
it's a yellow.
underthrown ball. He had to come back to it. And
Wow.
Jenkins, a great switch stick from West to get there. That's kind of exactly what we talked about where, something looks wide open, where if that switch stick isn't there, he's walking into the end zone even with the underthrown ball. So the fact that West was able to see it, get on the right defender, and get back, take advantage of the slightly underthrown ball, and then seal it with the interception, phenomenal play.
Yeah, that was a great switch. Being there just in case it wasn't accurate, you never know. So some things just go your way, and West got a big stop right there and won the game.
Yeah, unbelievable. Again, like we said, that was probably the most hyped matchup of the tournament so far, and it did live up to the hype. Back and forth. It looked like after that onside kick, Henry was going to walk away with it and clock him and get the 3 to win it. But a huge show on defense twice in a row from West to punch his ticket to the finals. Now going on to play Abram. What do you think of that matchup, West versus Abram?
It's definitely an interesting one. I don't think they've ever played before in a tournament, so it should be interesting. I feel like Wesley kind of has the upper hand in this one. I feel like a very meta player. I would take Wesley in this one, but I think it's gonna be a really really good game regardless. So yeah, I'm just excited.
Awesome. Well, Fancy, thank you so much for joining me here in the booth. Congratulations again on your historical Madden season, man. 3 championships. That's something we might never see again because it's hard enough to make a live event, much less win 3 of them in 1 year. So good job on the year, man. I'm sure I'll be seeing you tonight probably. I know we're all going to be hanging out and stuff. So I'm going to talk to Wesley now, the winner, the man of the hour. And let's hear from the guy who just punched his ticket into the finals. How you doing, Wes?
Pretty good. How are you,
You're
Mayz?
feeling pretty good, man. I mean, I'm sure that win has to feel good. After the onside kick, I mean, obviously
Yeah.
the game was back and forth, and then you kind of had the advantage up until that point. He goes for the onside kick. Take me through your thoughts.
Yeah, onside kicks in this game, I've talked about it many times with other pros. I feel like they're about 40-60, so you get them about 40% of the time, so that was one of the 40%. I wasn't, too surprised. Just sucks, basically, when it happens to you.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You're not, shocked when it happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw your face. You kind of you almost laughed. You're obviously you look disappointed, but
Yeah.
sometimes you just got to laugh it off. And then you stepped up big on defense twice. What happened on that pick with Jalen Ramsey? Did you do anything different, or you think it was just maybe a mistake on Henry's end?
No, differently. In that situation, it's 3rd down and 4 or something, I believe. If he gets a first down, the game is over. So you basically play a style of defense that is give up a touchdown or nothing. So he only had short routes. I only guard the short passes. So therefore, it's just good defense, I guess.
Yeah, phenomenal defense. And then the very end, the game-sealing interception. It looked like that deep corner was coming open. You're able to switch stick onto Jenkins and get underneath it. Was that almost like you saw it from the start and you waited, or was that something you're like, oh, God, I got beat, and you just barely saved it?
No, honestly, I got a little lucky right there. He got it inaccurate. I didn't see the play until late. I actually know that play. Kobo runs that play a lot, so he has the same play in his bag. I actually wasn't ready for him to call it that play, and luckily it was the orange inaccurate, which you get when you highball this year. So definitely a little fortunate. I was a little late in the switch stick, but worked out.
Yeah, man. And I remember, we had a long night last night, me and Wesley. He was telling me coming in here that this is a must-win game, and you got it done, even though it was by the hair on your chinny chin chin, even though there's not that much hair on that chinny chin chin. It was still a phenomenal win, man. And so you got your next opponent coming up in Abram. Give me your thoughts. I know you guys haven't really played in a competitive setting, but have you guys had any reps offline maybe? I know you guys are friendly, so tell me your thoughts on that matchup.
Well, for starters, definitely a must-win because Riverwine Casino They kind of ran through us last night. It was a tough scene for the Madden guys.
This man ran through 1,000. Call him Bonnie Blue.
Maybe you lost the same amount I did.
We don't need to talk about that.
All right. But in terms of Abram, me and him, we're cool. We actually played repping before in the Madden Bowl because he played Estro Drip, who runs the same offense as me. So me and him played for Madden Bowl, but since then, we haven't really played the game. But no, we'd actually never played a serious game before, so that's going to be fun.
No, it's going to be a great matchup. I'm sure everybody here is looking forward to it. That was, again, back-to-back super electric games. Again, congratulations on getting it done, and good luck in your finals, man.
Thank you.
All right, boys, I do think before we take a quick break before the finals, we are going to do a little giveaway right now. So I'm going to pull in the chat. What I want you to type in the chat is finals. If you want to win the Patrick Peterson that made one of the game-saving plays, type finals in the chat. Finals in the chat. And we are going to choose a winner from the chat. We will make sure you get that card in your account. Type finals in the chat. Finals in the chat. And you can be chosen to win Patrick Peterson. Man, what good games we've had. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes here because I know I want to let everybody get a chance to type and get entered. Finals in the chat. Abram versus Wesley. It's going to be a good one, guys. Listen, yesterday we had a couple blowouts. Obviously, we had a great game at the end. Today has been nothing short of electricity from start to finish. And I haven't been able to read the chat as much, but I know a lot of the regulars in there. What's up, boys? Sorry I haven't been able to talk to you as much. All right, finals in the chat. We are going to go in 10. Oh, what's up, Henry? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the winner is Young Heem. Young Heem, he's actually won one of my tournaments in the past. Shout out to Young Heem. Young Heem, hit me with a DM either on Discord, Twitter, or you can DM the Red Hot Gaming Twitter. Congratulations on winning the Patrick Peterson. We'll make sure you get that card. And again, we will be right back with the finals. We're going to take a short intermission, and we're going to come back with Wesley against Abram. Stay tuned. right, everybody, welcome back. We have an exciting final matchup here in the $40,000 Red Hot Gaming Championship. Back here with my co-host Henry. Henry, you played phenomenally. I know that doesn't really, mean much, but just coming from me, great game, man. I know, it's not gonna make you feel any better.
I mean, you win some, you lose some. I lost some, so it is what it is. He played a better game than me. I mean, I got an onside. I literally got lucky and still lost, so can't even say anything. He was the better man.
Yeah, and you know what? We move into the finals now. It's going to be Abram versus Wesley. We know there's not that much history between these guys in the actual live events, in tournaments. But you know both these players very well. Give me your thoughts on this matchup.
I mean, shoot, from what we've seen, Abram is going to be running this dollar. He's going to be Abram runs it differently. He's show blitzing, bringing everybody down. Most people, when they run it, like, for example, when you just saw me and Wes played, what Wes did was he kept everybody backed up in his dollar, and he was doing the blitzes and stuff. What Abram does, he actually brings every person down, like outside corners, slot corners. So, he runs a different aspect of that. And what that allows him to do is he runs man-to-man on top of it. So he has the man look and the zone look, whereas the Wes on defense only has the zone look. Good thing about what Wes does with keeping everybody backed up is it allows him to click on all of his players. So I think the biggest thing we're going to see in this game is who has the better switch stick.
And, yeah, I actually talked to a couple people as we took that short intermission, and obviously there's a lot of players here who are very tapped into the competitive scene and know both players really well, too. And they were saying that Abram is exceptionally good against dollar. They said if you run something like 6-1 or something a little different, Abram might struggle a little bit. But when he goes against dollar, he does very well. And obviously, Wes runs dollar. We just saw that. So it's going to be interesting to see if that success continues or if Wes is able to figure it out and maybe give a couple wrinkles in there that can give Abram some trouble. So if you had to choose a winner, who are you going to take in this one?
I'm going to take Abram just off the simple fact of how Wes plays defense. I think we saw he's very similar to Gabagol, how Gabagol plays defense, where he's going to keep everybody backed off. He's not going to engage. He's going to let you send out 5 every play. And we've seen how Abram played against somebody who lets him send out 5 every play. So I think Abram won't be getting stopped, and I think his defense is going to allow him to get a stop. So that's my pick.
Well, in the name of competition, I'm going to be taking Wes, man. We just saw him come up big. I feel like he really has the mentality. He's locked in right now. I know a lot of people in the chat are choosing Abram right now. A couple people are on Wes too. But I'm going to be riding with Wes right now. I think it's going to be a good game either way. And let's get this one underway. Saquon Barkley taking the kick. Looks like Wes going to be starting on the offensive side of the ball. A big hit there on the kickoff. And again, I talked about this in the last game. There's no conservative on kickoff, especially on the opening kickoff. And so that's one of the most risky places to take a hit stick. It's one of the easiest places to fumble. And Saquon Barkley, thankfully, is a big, strong man, bounces right off and doesn't even go down.
Yeah, it's really dumb to take hit sticks on the kickoff just off the fact that you are right, there's no conservative. I'd be doing it anyways, though, because you only live once, yellow.
And here we go, a little pressure off the left side. Yeah, Abrams blitzing heavy, and West takes advantage of that weak spot of the defense. You notice right there the pocket. So there was pressure coming in from the left side A-gap, and then additionally the left side slot corner. West stepped up and to the right, so even if those guys did come in free, they're going to have to take the long way around, and it gave him time for the drag to come across and hit the area right where that blitzer came in. And so we've seen Abram run this type of defense a lot. His user is the one that is typically going to be responsible for the flat here. And so when that pressure's coming off the left side, and he holds on to it there, I thought that would at least be a knockout the way the player lit up. But again, Wes, I think, is a lot of times, if he can get the time, going to be targeting that left side, because with the blitzers coming from there, there's going to be a weak spot in coverage. All right, 2nd and 5 now. Looks like cover 4 shell on the field. I think that's typically the defense we're going to see. And despite only a 3-man pass rush, Pat Tillman gets in there and hits the quarterback for a big sack. Now a 3rd and 13.
Yeah, right there. I mean, there goes Abram hugging that guy, and Tillman just comes in free.
It's really interesting that the first 2 times when Abram was sending the extra blitzer off the left side, no sack, no pressure. But then the one time he, decides to play a little coverage, that's when the pressure gets in there. I think a lot of that has to do not with the fact that the pressure was better, but just with that extra guy in coverage, you make Wes have to hesitate. He can't hit that area of the field, and now the actual pressure can come in and hit the quarterback. Nice throw to the seam, and a big catch right there. That's a 1st down.
Crazy throw. I'm not going to lie. I'm not making that read. He threw that ball instantly.
Yeah, and the fact that he was able to catch that between defenders with how many KOs are on the field. And you notice there's one player on the field on defense that doesn't have a star under him, and it's Pat Tillman. And that's because I think pretty much every play, no matter what, Pat Tillman's going to be blitzing, but Pat Tillman cannot get in time on that one. And Christian Watson burning past the defense, and West with the early touchdown. Now the pressure on Abram.
They're hiking it, instantly seeing the streak and instantly throwing it. Just, I mean, perfect from West right there. He didn't make a single mistake on offense. Anything that wasn't there, he didn't try to force anything. He played that perfect.
And now keep in mind, the tournament prize pool for this is $40,000. Everybody who qualified for this live event is guaranteed a payout, but the payout structure is very top-heavy compared to most tournaments. The winner in this gets $20,000, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the loser, is it 10?
5.
It's 5.
This is a $15,000 game right here.
Very top-heavy game of Madden or tournament in total right now. So $20,000 a first, $5,000 a second. So the winner of this game is going to walk away with a giant check. The loser, still a giant check, but going to be a little bit disappointed.
Right here, as you guys see, Abram is switching back to his regular offense. As you guys see, last game he was coming out in that tight wide offense to show. This, he's going back to what he ran originally versus Gabriel.
And
right
the post
there,
is wide
you
open.
guys see, once again, we're going to see Abram send out 5 just about every single play this game. If he doesn't send out 5, it's going to be because he's super quick hiking the play.
And something I just noticed on that play is, like, a lot of the defenders were down low covering, again, the speed out, the zig route, and those underneath routes, but it left such a large gap for that post to get in.
Yeah, you know, the 2 streaks going down the field, clearing out the deep guys, left the middle wide open for that post. Yeah, so, right, I'm telling you, this entire game, he's sending out 5. If he doesn't send out 5, it's going to be because he wants to quick hike the play action.
And there's the tight end. Is the KO going to get there? No, the possession catch gets down, and Evan Ingram with another catch. I think we've seen Abram hit that tight end streak more than anybody in this tournament, and it's going to be a problem if Wesley can't figure out a way to stop that. First and goal from the 7.
A lot of crossing routes.
And it looks like, yeah, on this play, I obviously can't speak too loudly about what's going on. Motions him out there. But what you said is shown to be true. I think Abram has sent out 5 every single play, and he's still finding a way to pick up the pressure.
Great switch stick from West.
If you can send 5 out and get time in the pocket, there's almost nothing you can do on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, Abram, I've ran Dollar versus him. He's the person that makes me not want to run Dollar. Like, I played him a million times in it. He just plays really well versus it.
And that's what everybody was saying in the crowd, too, is that this is the exact defense Abram wants to go against.
Red zone is the dead zone, though, so West might be able to get a big stop here. Being that he scored first, this would be perfect for him.
Yeah, second and goal. West obviously scored on a huge play, didn't have to punch it in the red zone. Now Abram with a short field and another sack. Going to be third and goal from the 18. Now on this play, my mentality is always, you're probably not going to get 18 yards on this, but you're down 7, so you really want 7. What you got to do is you got to get at least half of this back. Make it a 4th and manageable, and potentially give yourself a chance to go for it on 4th. Obviously, if you don't get many yards, you're going to be forced to kick 3. And
right
he throws
there,
it over the middle. The KO's there.
Knocks it out, and West almost could have picked that ball up. I don't know if he went for a pick or not. When that ball bounced off, his player just didn't go for it.
Yeah, and sometimes the player's ready for the tip. Sometimes he's not. In that case, hey, big pause on that one. My bad. But in that case, he was not prepared, and Abram's going to walk away with 3 points on that drive. But again, that's got to feel good from Wesley. Up 4, your first drive, you move the ball nicely, you got a big touchdown. And if you can get another one right now, a 2-possession lead in the first quarter would be big.
If you're Abram, you don't trip. You just walked up the field. You got stopped in the red zone. No need to rush anything. You go out here, you just try to get a stop. You need to focus on your defense because West, just like you, he actually went up the field effortlessly.
And now 1st and 10 for West. We're going to see if Abram makes any adjustments because last time, I don't know if it was a switch stick or what type of coverage that left Christian Watson open over the top, but if that can be consistent, it's going to be a problem for the defense. Here comes that jet sweep that's been so good for West so far in this tournament. A great block shed from Brian Dawkins, and that's one of the one guys who you don't want to see if you're a blocker. Very physical player, able to get off the block and hit the guy in the backfield for a loss of 3. I actually haven't seen Brian Dawkins too much in this game. I feel like I don't know, maybe not as many people are using him.
Oh, yeah. He's pretty outdated. Seems like Abram has a lot of outdated players. Oh, great possession catch. I mean, if that was any other animation, he probably would have got touched and the ball would have been knocked out from the KO. So, pretty blessed to get that animation right there.
And again, it looked like Brian Dawkins was right there lurking, about to lay the hit stick. And if, yeah, like you said, if he doesn't go down immediately, that ball was 100% coming out. Again, pressure coming off the left side. Bo Nix throws it away. Defenders collapsing the pocket. 2nd and 10 now. One thing I've noticed, and I've obviously known this playing online a lot, and people in the chat who maybe don't play as much might not know this. Cover 4 this year is by far the best shell for a defense. Obviously, you're still going to be making your adjustments, but the way streaks can kind of beat these deep zones, you kind of need an extra deep zone. It helps you also with the switch stick. So if you do switch onto a deep zone and come down, you're less liable to give a deep ball. So if you're someone who likes to switch stick a lot, especially on the deep zones, cover 4 is definitely the way to go. 3rd and 1 right here.
Controller on the left. This is going to go to the second quarter.
And Wesley's going to let that one go. First quarter already done. It's a 7-3 game. Both players seem to be taking their time here. Abram playing a little bit more conservatively on this drive. Still blitzing a lot off that left side. It's interesting. He doesn't really ever send that off the right side.
Yeah, he likes strictly staying to the left. I spoke to Abram. He told me that he just believes the blitz only works to the left, so I think that's why he only stays over there.
Understood. All right, 3rd and 1 here.
Up a little bit.
Looks like he might be running a little bit of a 2-man underlook. The
Tight end
snaps up.
Fries.
Not a whole lot open there. He throws it late, overthrown, 4th down.
4th and 1.
This is going to be Abram's opportunity to get back on top. He just needs to get off the field here. Now, again, I'm noticing Wes almost never runs the ball. Like, even people who don't like to run the ball every now and then, short yardage situations, maybe inside the 10, he seems to almost never run the ball. So I'd be really shocked, even though it's 4th and very short, if we saw a run here. Nice time in the pocket. Finds Loveland over the middle. He's got some space. And he's hawked down by Jenkins.
It's a great pursuit angle. Now, last time, we didn't see Wes in the red zone because he ended up throwing a streak at the midfield last drive. So we can see if Abram can get his red zone stop back, because this is where things get really tough.
Exactly. These high-level games are won and lost in the red zone. And there's the snap. A little play action, but Bo Nix pressure still rolls out right. Not a whole lot open. Going to flip back around, trying to do too much. Ends up losing 12 yards.
Greedy for no reason. He could have thrown that ball away a long time ago. I'm not sure why he was holding it, but that's going to be big in the red zone, 2nd and 22.
And every now and then, when you have a really fast quarterback, sometimes you can just loop around those defenders and run circles around them. But with how fast these D linemen have been, even if you do get that initial change in pursuit angle, a lot of times they're able to hawk you down. I don't think, what's Bo Nix's speed? I don't think it's anything.
95?
95. So again, if you have some of these faster D linemen who sometimes have 98, 99 speed even at this point of the game, there's nothing a quarterback can really do to run away from those guys. Again, heavy pressure coming in from the left side. Bo Nix steps up to the right, running again and again. Doesn't look like he has much, and just what you talked about. Last time he didn't have to perform in the red zone. This time he was unable to, and he's going to be held to 3. That's what Abram needed, and now Abram can go tie the game with 7.
Yeah, I mean, red zone is the dead zone. As you see, both of these dudes are walking down the field effortlessly, but as soon as they get into the red zone, the play call sheet, it gets way smaller because they're not as many routes as they can hit. So it's really costing them.
All right, now a big drive for Abram. Down 1 possession with 3:45 left. He is going to be receiving the second half kickoff. And I know, a lot of times people don't want to clock early. Abram was pretty willing to clock yesterday. Do you think there's any chance he tries to make this the last drive of the half?
I don't think so. I think he's just going to go out and try to score. We'll be able to tell off this first play. Right there.
Nice pocket. Way to step in your blocking. Again, it looks like that looper's going to come in clean and hit the quarterback, but he stepped right up and up right around the running back.
Right here, he didn't turn on true clock, so yeah, it looks like he's just going to keep playing regular offense.
And also interesting, we've been seeing him send out 5 pretty much every time. That time he blocked his running back, and the running back's the one that.
Right there, really quick read. He rushed it. If West committed to that was going to be a pick and possibly for 6. Abram turns on true clock. It looks like he's going to try to take this half now.
All right, true clock is on, 2nd and inches. I assume maybe if he got the first down there, he would have continued to try to push that envelope. But a 6-yard run from Genty, and we're likely going to see another true clock play from Abram. Audibling around right now, and he's going to go under center.
This is what Hexie was running on West, and they got West out of dollar, but he doesn't have the skibbity running back, so.
Very true.
I'm not sure how good it's going to go.
Devondre Sweat, I think, was the running back he was using.
Yep, Devondre Sweat.
All right, 10-3, 2-minute warning hit. And again, Abram trying to make this the last drive of the half. If he can go into half tied up, getting the ball back in the second half, he's going to be in a good spot. Last time West was able to lock up in the red zone. Great switch stick. He doesn't get the pick. And, not a very characteristic read from Abram. I feel like he would usually see that and maybe be a little bit more careful, but West almost gets one there.
Yeah, that was an interesting read. We're not used to seeing that from Abram.
All right, 3rd and 6 right now from the 29. Snap is up. Pressure gets in. The running back absolutely blind. He's got Stevie Wonder in the backfield.
And right there, once again, getting closer to that red zone. West taking advantage of it. I mean, right there, that running back just looked at nobody.
Helen Keller in the backfield. All right, 4th and 14. He's going to kick here, and he's going to make it a 6-10 game. Now West with an opportunity to take a 2-possession lead. Now 129. This is kind of the situation you didn't want to be in, because if you're Abram and you get the first down, you continue your drive, you clock the rest, and maybe you see that 7 points at the very end of the half. But now you not only don't get the 7, you give West an opportunity to go answer. And we're going to see with a huge return and great blocking. He tries a spin move right there. Maybe could have got a few more yards, but all the way out to the 39. 61 yards to the end zone. Even 3 points here would be a win for West going into halftime up 7.
Yeah, 3 points is 100% a win. Abram only having 2 timeouts. West can really take advantage of this clock, and he's great with the clock. He knows exactly what he's doing.
All right, from the 39, the first play.
One thing I noticed is Abram just hasn't been getting any pressure. Oh, he
hits
him with
fake
the fake
jet sweep.
He
got
has
the
touchdown.
streak.
Stop, sets his feet.
Right
Calvin
over
Johnson,
the top,
that's a great
Calvin
read.
Johnson wide open, and we've seen Wesley use that jet touch pass so many times. You got to think that the first time he pulls out the fake is the reason that was so wide open over the top.
Yeah, I mean, that was perfectly called. That was like the perfect time. As you see, Abram fully committed to the run, didn't think about anything else. As soon as he went for it, got exposed over the top.
And West got a little smirk on his face there after that one. And we're used to seeing Abram with a big smile on his face, not seeing it so much here in the finals. He did tell me that he said, if I make it to the finals, that smile will be long gone, and he's going to have to go into locked-in Abram. Good thing for Abram, though, he does still have plenty of time. Wes, if he was to take down the rest of the clock and get 7, obviously it would be a little bit more of a devastating play. But 117, he's still got 2 timeouts. If Abram can go down and answer with 7, he's not in a bad spot. There's the snap. Backside post, he's got it. Devontae Smith with another catch.
That was the timeout. I like the timeout there. I mean, 112, you're at your own 40, 1 timeout. I mean, this is very doable.
Yeah, and that post there from Devontae Smith on the outside has been money for him so far. Curious to see if Wes is going to be able to adjust a little bit. There's the motion out from Genty.
Right here, this is kind of similar to the play he ran earlier.
I would say very similar route combos here. Great switch stick underneath from Jenkins. Oh, I thought there was a fumble for a second, the way that ball was rolling. But yeah, it looked like, again, I was thinking that corner route was about to be wide open. He got into the flat zone and got underneath it.
Yeah, Wes with a great switch stick. I mean, he instantly ran over there.
I keep watching these games, and I'm realizing I would have thrown 3 picks already. He had the wheel route up the right side.
Had the wheel to the right, completely misses it.
These wheel routes have been money on, many different schemes we're seeing. Oftentimes, the late wheels up the sideline.
So right there, Abram made a mistake. Abram has on 2 clock right now.
Yeah, with only 1 timeout, you can't afford 2 clock right there. But there's a speed out, and he
doesn't
get out of bounds. That would have been huge to save that timeout. Still got time.
Abram noticed the 2 clock, takes it off.
And another thing is, if he does have to settle for 3, it's still a 1-possession game. He can still tie it up out of half. Obviously, it's not ideal to have to rely on a 2-point conversion. Nobody wants to rely on a 2-point conversion, but it's not the end of the world. 32 seconds remain, no timeouts. Looks like Wes might be running a little bit of a different style of blitz the way he's mugging with his user. And the pressure ends up getting in there.
Way to get the ball out, too. That's great defense by Wes. Good throwaway by Abram last second to only take the hit and get the ball out so he doesn't get sacked and lose a lot of time.
All right, 28 seconds remain. Again, empty backfield. Abram sending 5 out. He's doing a great job of picking up this pressure.
Good defense from Wes.
Yeah,
not giving him anything deep.
I almost wonder, he didn't have to roll out on that play. And oftentimes when you roll out, it allows the defense to disengage with their blocks. I feel like the pocket was pretty clean there. Obviously, not much was open anyways, but sometimes you got to trust your blocking a little bit. Nice playmaker to the outside, but not a whole lot open. Again, this time he's going to go down, and
that's the half. He can't do anything. He's good.
Yeah, if there's going to be a runoff here, let's see if he can bring out the field goal unit and get the kickoff.
He's going to come out. You got to realize with the field goals, you actually have to take time for it to go up and go down. So, yeah, he's just
all the way down, and a
terrible
huge sack from Wes.
Sack. Great defense from West. Way to force him into that mistake. Not giving up anything deep and just really letting him be himself.
And we are now going into halftime, 17-6, an 11-point game. Again, not what you really expect from Abram. A lot of people, I said, thought Abram would be dominating offensively against this dollar defense. However, it seems like Wes may be running it a little different than he's used to because The pressure there at the end ended up getting in. You send 5 out every time. You've been doing a good job picking up the pressure. Then when it comes in, you're not really expecting it. All right, so the first half is over. I think that went a little different than a lot of people were expecting. I think people were expecting Abram offensively to be kind of carrying the weight here, but it seems like West's defense doing a better job than people expected.
Yeah, Abrams going up the field. He's just getting stuck in that red zone, so he's got to figure out the red zone. West also has to figure out the red zone as well because he got stopped the one time there. But other than that, he's just been getting big play touchdowns. So Abram really needs to make Wesley work up because the one time you made him work up, you got your stop back in the red zone.
Right.
Wesley's making you work up. He's not giving any of the big plays up, and that's really the difference in this game, the big play touchdowns, because the red zone defense is the same from both sides. It's just one person has been to the red zone every time, and the other person is getting the big play so he can avoid the red zone.
Yeah, I would agree. Abrams got to force him to get in the red zone because that's where your best chance of playing defense. We've talked about it so many times in these games, how much easier it is to get 3 than get 7, and that's strictly due to the fact how hard it is to score in the red zone, especially with mid-zone KO all over the field. You got a compressed field with 8 defenders sometimes in coverage, and finding tight windows to fit it in there is sometimes next to impossible. So in the second half, I'm sure that's going to be the name of the game. Abrams getting the ball down 11. Let's see if he can answer out of half. That 3 points he could have had is going to be crucial here because instead of a 1-possession game, now it's a 2-possession game. So this drive is going to be ever important for Abram, and we're going to see if he can get back on track here. He's staying in this gun normal Y off close. I do like the route combos he's been having. He's been finding open receivers.
He's got to be patient with his reads, too. He's got to take those there. He's been giving some things underneath that he hasn't been taking.
And there's that post again. Devontae Smith has a couple big plays on that same route combo. And again, when you're giving all your resources to cover the underneath stuff, whether it's a zig, whether it's an out route, whether it's a corner route, then that backside post is going to have a lot of space to work with.
20 seconds, and he's already at the 30, but this is where things have been getting really bad for Abram. So he needs to, I don't know if the halftime break did something. Maybe he brainstormed something else up. Good defense from West.
Bo Nix fighting off tacklers, but gets taken to the ground for a 4-yard sack.
I don't like Abram calling that play. Anytime he's called that play, it just hasn't worked out.
Yeah, it seemed like he was trying to get to the line and snap something there. Again, I'm sure he's already feeling the clock because in this game, you know how hard it is to get stops. If you are down a possession, you know you're going to need to get at least one. And so the more clock you have, the better. There's the snap. Looper coming in. Throws a high ball. A bad ball, and the safety almost there.
Once again, I don't like these play calls from Abram. Last time he called that, West had it absolutely caged. That's not going to be a play that works. I really just want to see Abram stay in this formation and call this play action play just about every single play and mix up his route combos because that's what seemed like been the most effective thing for him.
Right, when he calls a play action, it seems like he has a better time picking up the blitz. And so right here, I think the first read is going to be this speed out on the left. And it looks like, oh, great switch stick from Wesley to see that.
This is 4-down territory. Got to go.
Big 4th down. Now, again, a lot of people in the chat might be thinking, okay, you kick 3, you make it an 8-point game. But it's going to be next to impossible to stop Wesley from getting 3 on his drive. When you kick 3 now, you open the door where Wesley can stress-free take 3, and that's not what you want. So this is a must-convert scenario. He calls the snap. He throws the corner out. It's overthrown. And Abram not liking the throw from the quarterback. You think right there that was just an unlucky throw from the quarterback? You think there was anything user-related on that one?
Right there, nothing user-related. That's just, it's a ball you can't throw, even though it's a good play. Right there at the start of the play, his receiver got bumped, and when your receiver gets bumped initially off the start of the play, there's nothing you can do afterwards. It's just going to be good.
Great blocking. Randy Moss breaks a tackle.
45. I mean, West is playing this game perfectly. Knowing West, you can definitely probably think that 2 clock is going to be coming on.
Right, you're already up 2 possessions. If he scores 7 on this drive, it's going to be really hard for Abram to come
here,
back.
He has on 2 clock. I'm not going to say why, just because I'll wait till afterwards.
Yeah, due to the positioning on the hash, you expect. Well, I take back what I was about to say.
So right there, I could have told you it was going to be that cheat slot fade play. So when you have on 2 clock and the clock goes to 15 seconds, that means there's an auto motion play about. Because the clock won't run off like that. So if it's 10 seconds, it's a normal play. If it's 15 seconds, it's an auto motion play.
Randy Moss underneath gets to 3rd and inches. Now, Wes obviously doesn't want 3, but if he has to take 3, make it a clean 14-point lead, it's still a win for him. But 7 points here makes it very, very tough for Abram to come back.
I think this would be a win. Oh, no.
Snaps up, pressure off the side.
Great defense. Oh,
and he just misses the KO. Wes sneaks one in there.
That was probably the most covered player.
Yeah.
But Wes somehow found a window to where not only did he catch it, but he was untouched and ran afterwards.
Yeah, and something about these drag routes underneath, every now and then, even though there's a lot of zones in the area, sometimes they just find a way to sneak through there. And despite the KO being there, unable to touch him and knock it loose.
Right there, we saw the clock go to 15 seconds. You guys see, auto motion play. Wonder if Abram knows that as well.
2nd and 13 now. Anytime you run, a very conservative play call, you still lose yards. That's not a good feeling. But it looks like Abram has that jet sweep kind of unlocks.
Oh yeah, he's definitely out of all of Wes's opponents. He's definitely played the best versus it so far.
2nd and 13. In this situation, Wes would love to run that jet sweep every time, but if you're losing yards, it's just not going to work out. And the backside post is caught, and that's going to be another first down. And that means more clock is going to be chewed off.
11, if Wes gets 7 here, it's going to be looking real bad for Abram. You already have him in the red zone. He pretty much has 3 secure. You just got to make sure he doesn't get 7, because if Wes gets 7, it's going to be bad.
And there's the inside zone. Saquon Barkley getting a couple. Gain of 4. They gave him forward progress right there, but that's sometimes, I assume he has tank on.
Yeah.
That's sometimes the problem with tank, is you'll bounce off a hit stick, you'll end up losing every yard you just got. And it looks like he might have turned off chew clock there. Likely to give him more time to maybe set up some adjustments as he flips between formations. And this is likely going to be the last play of the 3rd quarter, assuming he completes the ball. There it is. And Randy Moss with a lot of space, and Randy Moss in the end zone, and that is going to be an 18-point game, a 3-possession game. I always say it on stream, but the magic number in these games is 17. If you go above that, you get the 3-possession lead. It becomes very hard in these games to come back, especially with the 5 minutes and 24 seconds we have remaining.
Yeah, what's depressing about what Abram's experienced, when you're down like this, you kind of feel a certain way if you feel like you can get the stop. But just from the way it's gone, I'm pretty sure all his confidence is gone on defense. So, it makes, even when your confidence is gone on defense, it makes playing offense even harder, because it's like, what's the point, man?
Yeah. and another thing to think about, too, is Abram, he got 2 field goals on the day. He's yet to get in the end zone, and so obviously you're going to need to score quickly if you want to come back. And that is something that has not been easy so far. All right, from the 20, I'm sure Wes will be playing very conservative defense here, because he's not super concerned about giving up yards. He's more concerned he just can't be giving up points. And a great switch stick to get inside on
Went
that.
on, clicked on, guarded the drag, guarded the corner route, then stayed on it. Instead of switching on to somebody else, he actually stayed on and ran towards that post and knocked it out himself.
Yeah, Wes seems to be really locked in right now. There's a throw to the sideline. Devontae Smith taps his toes and stays in bounds, unfortunately, for Abram. And we head into the 4th quarter, boys, 24-6. Not the result many people expected, but I think it's Wesley's defense that is, giving him this big lead right now. He's playing phenomenal defense.
Yeah, perfect defense, perfect offense. Same story. He's forcing his opponent to make mistakes, and he's not doing the same thing.
And there's Genty outside of the motion. Empty backfield. Snaps up, pressure picked up nicely. Great defense on the field again. Wesley just seems to have everything covered. He almost knows what's coming.
Yeah, right now what Abram is doing, he's just trying to get a big play, and you're going to have to dig and duck up the field. He's not allowing any big plays to happen. You're going to have to take your stuff underneath, but the good thing about taking stuff underneath is you'll be able to run out of bounds afterwards, but you're going to have to keep playing your normal game that you started with.
There's a throw underneath. Burden doesn't get the first down, 3rd and 2.
Right now, I don't think I would have Rouse just sitting in the middle. I would probably have something going to the sideline, because that clock is ticking. And we seen Wes when he was on offense, he also has on the chew clock. Wes, he's not going to give you any breaks. Like, if you give him the ball back, he's going to be clocking the game out as well. So you need to preserve as much time as possible.
Yeah, and Wes, unlike maybe some of the other competitors here, is somebody who, an overthrow on 3rd, that is absolutely brutal. Might have been a high ball there, and those sometimes can be a toss-up.
Yep, that was a high ball right there. High balled it for no reason. Probably was just scared of Wes's switch stick.
All right, 4th and 2. Snaps up, and this is for the game right now. Throws the backside post. A great throw, and Devontae Smith breaks a tackle. Breaks about 6 tackles. And, again, unfortunately for Abram, that's inbounds. And so, because we're not under the 2-minute warning yet, that there is no runoff. But you need to save as much time as possible. As I was going to say before, unlike some of the other competitors, Wes is not the type of guy to continue gunslinging in this situation. He's going to be playing very conservative on offense, not making any risky plays, and so you got to save as much clock as you possibly can. A lot of time for Bo Nix, throws it underneath, and again tackled inbounds, another 3rd down. And even though Abram's driving, I think Wes is kind of doing exactly what he wants. He's putting him in 3rd downs, 4th downs, and tackling him inbounds almost every time. Great switch stick. He almost gets to it, but Abram fits it in there now to the 2-yard line. Abram almost in the end zone to cut this to a 2-possession game. Wow, that really, if he would have dove or something, that could have been bad. All right, 1st and goal here. We're seeing everybody. Blitz intercepted. The quick ball is picked off by Jenkins, and already up 18 with 3:27 left. It's looking like Wes has this one in the bag.
It looks like Wes is going to be the champ. I mean, dominant turning, man. He looked like the best player.
Yeah, I got to say, Wes really was dialed in. He didn't really make too many mistakes in any of his games. And I
like this from Abram. Way to stay fighting, man.
I'm sure we're going to be seeing that jet touch pass again.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a run on every single 1st down from us.
You saw it went down to 15.
Yeah, it's going to be the jet sweep or the auto motion. The cheap flat post.
And Randy Moss
getting out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, getting out of bounds probably not what you want to do.
Giving Abram a chance. You know, you have a high chance of winning. You don't want to get out of bounds, though. You want to keep your foot on his neck.
All right, 3rd down right here. Do you think he punts if he doesn't get it?
Yeah, I think he would. Doesn't make any sense to go for it. That would be giving him life.
Snaps up. Great defense on the field. Throws backside playmaker. Almost fits it in there. And now 4th down. Wes seems to be thinking about it.
Decisions?
I guess Wes is going to go for this.
Decision?
Oh, no, there's the punt. There's the punt. Yeah, I mean, you've been playing good defense, too. Haven't even given up a touchdown yet.
Yeah, it makes absolutely 0 sense to go for it, other than you just want to get out the game.
Oh, what? Did he just muff the punt? I think he just muffed the punt. He said, yeah, I'm done after
and
that
that might have been the fastest quit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. All right, and there you have it, boys. Your champion of the $40,000 Red Hot Gaming Championship Series is Wesley, taking home his share of the $40,000 prize pool in the form of a massive, giant, oversized $20,000 check. And there it is. Let's get that man. Wesley's wanting to stand on a stool to look taller. He's just trying to flex on Blake over there. And there it is, man. Big smile on his face. Imagine taking that one to the bank, just trying to put that in the ATM. Hey, shout out to Wesley, man. He played a great tournament, I got to say. He played a phenomenal tournament right there. Very minimal mistakes in any of his games. Very cool, calm, and collected, even in the most intense moments. And like you said before, I think he was the one that deserved to win. Yeah,
I mean, he dominated the entire tourney. I'm pretty sure from all of his games, I didn't see him make a single mistake. He was patient with all of his reads. He handled the clock perfectly well. He played great defense, situational defense. So you really can't be mad. He deserved to win. He was by far the best player.
All right, man. And Henry, it's been a pleasure. I'll give you a handshake. It's been a pleasure in the booth with you. I think we're gonna pass it off to Wes here and talk to the champ and see where his head's at. Here he is. Here's the big guy, the man of the hour. What's up, Wes?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing phenomenal. I had a great time this weekend. I was just talking about it. You played really well over the course of the tournament. You didn't make too many mistakes. I obviously asked your thoughts after every game. We've talked to you because you've won. Your final game there, that was maybe your most dominant game yet. Tell me about the game.
Yeah, that's basically how like comp, Madden 25 or Madden 25 games go is if you get red zone stops, you're just gonna basically control the game and win the game from there. Like it's Madden in between elite players is one in the red zone, and I had like a couple big plays, and he really didn't have any big plays, so he's out for 3 twice, and you're just down. He was down 14-6 and hasn't really done anything wrong yet.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest difference in these games is red zone, and it just showed that there.
Absolutely. And I got to say, what are you gonna do with that $20,000? Put it in the bank. What are you gonna do with it?
I might go to Riverwind.
Not what your financial advisor wants to hear, but hey, you deserve to celebrate a little bit tonight. We had a great time watching you play, and congratulations on the game. Now, we are not quite done yet. We have one more giveaway to do, another Patrick Peterson. If you guys want to type Wes in the chat, you will be entered to win. Let's see if I can pull up the chat here. Type Wes in the chat if you want to win a Patrick Peterson. Here we go. Wes in the chat. If you type Wes in the chat, I think there's so many people typing the chat. The chat's not even loading. There we go. Wes in the chat. Your chance to win Patty Pete.
Chat not even loading right now.
Yeah, in honor of our channel, there's a lot of people typing Wes. All right. I will let you do the honors.
Just pick random person?
Yeah, I scroll so you can't even see, and then whoever it lands on.
All right. It's
Homer 5 times.
Homer 5 times.
Homer 5 times. Shoot me a DM on Twitter or to the Red Hot Gaming Twitter, and you can win, or you did win, your Patrick Peterson. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Again, I want to give a shout-out to all of our sponsors today. I want to give a shout-out to EA Sports, first and foremost, because EA Sports obviously creates the game we play. They sanction this event, and so thank you to them. I also want to give a shout-out to Red Hot Gaming for putting on the entire tournament. They did all the qualifying events. They took care of all the logistics, and, of course, they took care of the live event here. I also want to give a shout-out to Ugly John's Custom Boats. All right, if you need a custom boat, you know where to go. Ugly John. By the way, John, I'm sure you're not that ugly, man. All right, you're pretty to me. Don't degrade yourself, man. An 818 Madden, if you guys want to learn the schemes that were ran today, you can learn from the best. Some of the best professional players in the entire industry are doing coaching one-on-one. You can learn their schemes in ebook format. And, of course, I think the biggest thank you is going to go to the people that hosted us today, the University of Oklahoma Esports Program. And I want to put the QR code on the screen here. If you guys, I know some of you guys want to donate to my chat. Some of you guys want to donate, whether it's on Twitch or you want to donate to Red Hot Gaming. But the people you should really be supporting right now, the University of Oklahoma Esports, it would not be possible without them. They gave us the venue, they gave us the staff, and they gave us all this stuff to make this happen. So hit the QR code on the screen. Every little bit helps. Consider this like if you're gonna tip your Uber driver, if you're gonna tip your server, let's go ahead and tip these guys right here. There's a whole crew behind this, and they really did help out a lot. So thank you to them so much. Again, the QR code on the screen. I'm gonna sit here for another couple minutes, just to leave this up here for a little longer in case anybody wants to do it. Wes, I know you probably want to get out of here, but
yeah.
Hey,
appreciate it, Mayz.
Congrats
for hosting.
again, brother. Congrats again.
Oh, thank you, bro.
All right, everybody. Again, signing out. I'll be back home. I know a lot of you guys not used to me not talking in the chat as much, but I will be back home in the next couple days, and we'll be back to our regular program streams. Thank you for all the support over the last. It's been about 6 months we've been doing this series. We've had these qualifying events every so often, and then, of course, it culminates in this huge event. So thank you for all the support, everybody. And I think that's going to do it. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be seeing you soon.